Thank you, thank you. As you healed thyself, you healed. We had a little challenge getting onto Facebook, but we are now live on Facebook. Welcome to all of our friends on Facebook. I'm Love Coach Scott Katamas, and you're watching Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. And you just heard the beautiful music of Indubious. These two incredible brothers are going to be back with us a little bit later on in the show. We had a little bit of a technical challenge, so things are going to be a little bit adjusted. I would say that we're going to go right to the agenda as it was planned, but for all of our speakers and musicians, probably add about 20 minutes to what the agenda was. That's probably how it's going to play out. And I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank people for watching. I'm going to put the spotlight back on Indubious just for a moment. You guys, your music is so beautiful, and thank you for covering and being right there with us. And we're looking forward to hearing more of your music in a little
Thanks
bit.
for having us, Scott. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing that is happening here, and we're pleased to be involved in any way.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, that beautiful thing that's happening is tonight's theme, which is the healing and the honoring of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And so Deborah and I have asked some people that really, all the presenters you're going to see, all the musicians, are people that are very, very close to our hearts, people whose wisdom and medicine we highly respect, and people who really are walking their talk. I also want to acknowledge those of you who are watching now on Facebook and on Unify. Welcome. And if you want to, come on into our Zoom room. There's a lot of advantages to coming into the Zoom room with us. So I'm going to post it. It's really easy. All you got to do is go to globalpeacetribe.com. Go to www.globalpeacetribe.com. And that gives you the opportunity to come right into our Zoom room where we can chat with you more easily. There's more of a direct connection. And there's a lot of things. Now we have your email address, which we just keep for ourselves. And you'll get on Monday a replay of tonight's show. And you'll also get replays of all the previous shows we've done. This is about our 25th show now. You'll also get notifications about our upcoming shows and special gift packages from our presenters. And you can also then participate in our Community Connections program. At the end of every show, we allow some people from our Zoom room to come on and chat with us. So if you're watching live on Facebook, come and join our Zoom room. We want to welcome you. And with no further ado, I am going to turn it over to my wonderful partner, Deborah Giusti, to continue on with the show.
Thank you, Scott, and welcome everyone to what is now our 26th show that we've done every single Saturday night since the lockdown. And this is the first show of our fall season, October through December, and we've got 13 amazing shows planned for you. We're going to share more about that later. And as Scott said, this again is going to be an amazing show. Our theme is healing of the divine masculine and feminine. We know there's a lot of polarization out there these days, whether it's politics, whether it's ecology, whether it's racism and relationships. And so this is a time when all this is coming to the surface to be revealed and healed. And it's really time for the masculine and the feminine to come together in the highest form that they can, work together in balance, and really create this new world that this reset is pointing to at this point. And we're not just talking about the women being feminine and the male being masculine. We're talking about the divine masculine and feminine in us all, and those principles in us all, and every way we create the world. And we're also not talking about just male-female relationships. We're honoring all levels of relationship, whatever you choose in your relationship. And we've brought some incredible luminaries together to share on this topic so we can really dive deep and understand what's really possible now. The awareness of all of us is so heightened, and it's really possible to reset and create this new world that we all came here to create and manifest. So I want to introduce these amazing luminaries and musicians that we have for you tonight. We are going to be featuring John Gray. He is best well known as the author of the major relationship book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So he's one of the experts that made his life mission to this topic. So we're so happy to have him on. Thank you, John.
A pleasure to be here. I will be speaking about relationships, all relationships as well.
Wonderful. And we have Satyan Raja and Suzanne Raja, and they're an amazing couple that's a demonstration of 35 years of marriage and what it takes to live together, love together, and work together. They have amazing contributions. Satyan leads the Warrior Sage group of companies, which so much with that. And one of their goals is to put a dent in the divorce rate by helping couples ignite their passion and so much more. So thank you for being here. And as you've seen in our pre-show, we have Pato Banton and Antoinette Hall. And you may know Pato because he's a pretty well-known reggae artist that has performed all over the world. And his wife, Antoinette, is also a high-level musician. And together they do their music ministry as well as teach on a spiritual level and are a demonstration, again, of incredible partnership and relationship. And we have back again today, Eden Amadora, incredible priestess. She's an ordained priestess of the 13 Moon Mystery School. She has an archetypical voice and embodiment coach. She's a ceremonial singer and a prayer performance artist. Thank you, Eden. And we have Ariel Brown, who is an expert in intimacy and gender dynamics, with a focus on embodiment, intelligence, transparency, and communication skills. And our final speaker is Paul Sterling. He works closely with Scott very deeply in Love Coach Academy. He's an international speaker, Amazon bestselling author, and a relationship intimacy coach. Hi, Paul.
Thank you, too, for doing this amazing event.
Yes, thank you. And as usual, we have amazing musicians. You've heard Indubious. They are amazing. We love it that they've come back with us. They're a partnership of two brothers that play heart-opening reggae-based music. And we also have back with us Nina Gray, amazing, incredible singer-songwriter with conscious love-centric music. Really sings from the heart. And to spice things up, we love to have entertainers, and we have the magician and illusionist Tetro, who's going to be with us tonight. So it's going to be an amazing evening as usual. Please go ahead and share on Facebook. We've posted the link of Love Coach Academy where you can share on your Facebook. We've posted it on the Facebook and on the chat room. And also invite friends to come and join us. And please use the chat room during the show because that gets pretty lively. So tell us where you're from, what you like, and anything you'd like to inspire. And the last thing I'd like to share with you is one of the most important things that we do on this show that we've done from the very beginning and that started this show is our GoFundMe campaign. And this is where we use the power of community to share people that are in need or organizations that are really serving community. And we request your green love, your incredible financial power to go into our GoFundMe campaign. And then we send that back into the universe to people very much in need. And we've been able to raise thousands of dollars. We received $40,000 so far that we've given back to community. And every dollar that you donate tonight goes directly to the people that we are working with. And we are working with 3 families that have just lost their homes due to the California and Oregon fire. I'm sure you're all aware that we are having intense crisis in California and Oregon now. And just like that, homes are gone. So we're able to make a difference, a huge difference in these people's lives. And we're going to be able to talk to them tonight and just get a viewpoint of what they're going through and send them love and also send them green love energy so you can make a big difference by donating tonight. We're going to post that in the chat room, but also you can go to GoFundMe and type in Global Peace Tribe and make sure you go to the one that is our new one that says $25,000 is what we want to raise over the course of the next coming weeks. And again, all the money that comes in goes exactly, totally to the people that we're funding and 3 families. And we'll share more about that later. So that's about it. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'll turn it back over to Scott.
Oh, thank you. All right. Just take a breath together. Let's all collectively take an inhale. Because now we're about to really go on a journey. We're going to go on an evening of diving into honoring, healing the divine feminine, the divine masculine within us, within our relationships. And I'm so grateful that we're going to start with the amazing music of Nina Gray. When she and I were talking earlier today, and she told me what she had planned for tonight, we actually got excited. She has added a 3rd song she's going to do tonight, and she's going to start our show and end our show. And so here's a beautiful embodiment of the divine feminine, Nina Gray.
Thank you so much, Scott. Thank you so much, everybody, for your beautiful contributions already. This is a song called Same Side. Maybe we're all learning just how to get along. Maybe it's not fair, maybe some of it's wrong. Well, the part that feels right, I just wanna get there, get there. So won't you help me tonight? Can we learn to play fair? And what if we apologize for the hurt we caused? And what if we apologize for the times we fought to be better than, better than? What if we made a truce tonight? You know, you and I play on the same side, letting go of the ego and all its little stupid lies. Yeah, all its little stupid lies. Oh, no, no, no. 'Cause the truth is, We are both magnificent. How do I know this? God essence in everything, everything. Truth is, you and I were both magnificent. And anything less won't do, no, 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 no. So what do you say we figure out a new tomorrow today? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Nina. This is the most beautiful way to start our show. And we're going to hear more from Nina, learn more about her a little bit later on in the show. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to turn it over to Deborah to introduce our first speaker.
Thank you, Scott. And we always love to open up with a very dynamic, present, powerful speaker. And Eden Amadora is one of those amazing beings. She's an ordained priestess of the 13 Mystery School. She's an archetypal voice and embodiment coach. She's a ceremonial singer, performance artist, and she has 20 years of shamanic and yogic training. And she really speaks from the depth of her heart and soul, and most of all, the depth of her divine feminine, because she's really made it a divine mission and practice to explore the depth of the divine feminine emerging now and how she can be a voice for that. So I'm so happy to introduce Eden and welcome her to the show. Thank you, Eden.
Thank you so much, Deborah and Scott. It's great to be here again, and it's wonderful to be with so many beloveds I know and recognize, and to all of you who are tuning in. We're all beloveds. Ultimately, we're a soul family here. I just want to name the obvious that we're going through one of the most intense initiations that we've ever been through together. There's so many unknowns. There's so much fear in the collective mind field of Earth. And no one is immune. We're all in this great leap of faith. How are we going to get through this? And I liked how Pato earlier spoke about we're in the kindergarten phase here. Supposedly there's other more evolved star beings that are watching us saying, come on, you've got this, Earth children, awaken. And a wonderful spiritual teacher, Nisargadatta, said, we must remember our divine origins, our noble nature, and our glorious destiny. And after more than 10 years in a divine feminine mystery school and becoming a teacher in that school, I'm just starting to realize that it's not about divine feminine rising to take over again. And, you know, there's been some illusions amongst women in the empowerment movement, like move over men, you're messing up. We need to, come back in and heal this planet as the feminine. What I'm aware of is it's always about the balance, always. In fact, there's no healing needed between the divine masculine and divine feminine. They're doing fine. They are what is creating the entire manifest universe. The healing is just in the minds of men and women, the minds of humanity. A shamanic teacher once said to me, give your mind to your heart. Give your mind to your heart. We've put the mind on the altar, like in Nina's song. What if we just stop playing all those little games with our egos and all those little lies and all that polarity, duality, fight and flight, victim perpetrator consciousness that our egos think we need to survive? Because here we are at the threshold. We are beyond the 11th hour. We are in the final countdown here of whether we're going to awaken our hearts and see each other as family and beloveds, looking through this polarity consciousness that would have women say, the men are totally messed up. We need to step back into power. Looking through the illusion of power itself. I'm looking in my own life at where these patterns have been out of balance. I had an experience after a long time in the Divine Feminine Mystery School where I noticed the women commiserating, complaining, and slandering the men. And I thought, there's something wrong here. We need to uplift each other. We need to empower each other and look for the divine in each other. Look for the beauty in each other. In fact, at the height of the Me Too movement, I went through my own personal disillusionment in a love story that left me in a deep, deep depression where I was enraged with the collective masculine in a state of blame and hatred and deep despair, sucked into the same conversation that something wrong with the men. There's nothing wrong with the men. We've been in a system of imbalance for millennia. Men have been the biggest victims of this system as cannon fodder on the front lines. For us as the collective feminine, to look at our brothers, our fathers, our beloveds, and to see that they're struggling to find center with us, and to have compassion and forgiveness. Just like Nina's song, can we apologize and not just say the words, but deeply hold each other through the grief. Hold each other through this intense initiation of coming into wholeness. And more than healing, recognizing it is about coming into our own balance and wholeness. I like to think of the divine masculine and the light side of our own embodiment as our truth, our sword of truth, our clarity, our ability to stand in our center and integrity, to speak up and use our words powerfully, to create new structures, to create a new world together. And our divine feminine rather, as this overflowing chalice, tears of mercy, milk of human kindness, waters of forgiveness, the ability to receive each other, to see each other through eyes of love. Imagine as emissaries and embodiments of the divine, when we stop genderifying at all, stop splitting and polarizing, like Pato said. He's like, I love my bubble baths. I love to nurture and take care of myself. Is that feminine, or is that just self-love? Maybe there's a place we're awakening to and evolving beyond the splitting and the polarizing altogether. We just see each other as embodiments of love. This is my path, looking at my own shadow masculine and shadow feminine patterns, where the shadow masculine wants to control, like yang, that just consumes and controls and burns down, and the shadow yin that just collapses and indulges and feels frozen and stuck. How do we take responsibility to bring our own selves into balance so we can be those chalices and those swords in our lives, speaking truth and staying open-hearted? This is the prayer I leave you with tonight and hold with you. So much love, everyone.
Oh, thank you so, so much. I'm going to actually go to your page for a moment where you can kind of tell people a little bit about your offerings, because I think people are going to want to, know more about the amazing offerings that you offer. And I want to say for a second that as we were choosing people for the show, as I've gotten to know this woman, her incredible journey of life, like, all of us are on a hero journey. All of us have our own unique hero's journey. But she has really gone through going from a model at a very early age, where she was put into a system of what was supposedly feminine beauty, into really the journey of discovering her true beauty. And so she's someone who walks her talk and provides really powerful training and really powerful understanding. So I just want to give you a chance to share with people about what you're offering right now. And this is her website that we've gone to. It's awakening-beauty.net. Awakening-beauty-net.net. And Eden, what are you currently offering right now?
So I offer a year-long training for women in the 13 Moon Priestess Mystery School tradition that I've been trained in. And these are embodiment practices. This is like a deep yoga with different faces of the goddess. We go through 13 different initiations. This is work that's ancient. It's been back in the temples of Egypt and Avalon. I've been trained and ordained in this lineage. So this is one of the things I'm very passionate about, helping women, supporting women to recognize wholeness, to walk in sovereignty, to embody the goddess in their open-heartedness and their availability as love, in love, for love. And then in my own journey of what I call the intermarriage rite, Heros Gamos, I became very passionate about supporting people to recognize both the divine feminine and the divine masculine that live within them, and to come into balance and heal their relationships, especially with the opposite gender. So this is a program that's under the sunheartfoundation.com. You can find it through the Awakening Beauty site. There'll be a page for that rite of initiation that works towards what's called intermarriage. And then I'm also more recently working with men, priestessing men in the archetypes of the sacred masculine, assisting them to feel what it's like to embody the king, the warrior, the magician, the lover, the steward, and to heal with the feminine, to go into deeper and deeper reconciliation, mother wound, and those places that they're coming into their own heart. For men, often this is a newer adventure. There's a lot more women I've found that are ready to dive into the mystery school training. So for those men who are ready to really walk a path of softening the shields on their heart, stepping into that sacred masculine embodiment, I'm here for you. I'm here for you as well.
Thank you so much, Eden. God bless you, and thank you for everything you share. So there is a beautiful embodiment of the individual heroic journey. But there's another heroic journey, and that's the journey of coupleship, the heroic journey of coupleship. And we've already, some of us have seen Pato and Antoinette, those of us in the Zoom room. You'll see more of them a little bit later. They're an amazing couple. But I knew right away when we decided we were going to do this topic that I wanted to bring my dear friends Satyan and Susan Raja on. I've had the good fortune of training with them, being to their home, watching them, and they have been in divine partnership, divine coupleship for over 35 years. They've raised children, and they've also, while doing that, they have created the Warrior Sage group of companies, which includes Ignite Passion Now, the Harmony Integration Academy, the Find Yourself Journey, and the Unforgettable Change. And Satyan and his wife have made it their mission to put a dent in the divorce rate by helping couples ignite their passion for real through live, interactive, and entertaining experiences. I've attended their Accelerated Evolution Academy, and it's powerful. And it's the premier coaching training program that I'm aware of. They utilize the latest breakthrough processes, and it works. I've experienced it personally. I've observed it professionally. They're remarkable. They work with everyone, including six-figure income plus corporate executives and coaches and just about everybody you can imagine. So thank you. You know I love you both so much, and I'm really happy to have you here and eager to hear the wisdom and medicine you want to share tonight.
Thank you so much, Scott and Deborah, and you wonderful folks that just spoke, just so inspired by all of you. We're so honored to be here, to whoever is watching today. And I want to start by saying that, you know, relationships, coupleships ain't easy. I mean, right here, like while we were starting, we were like, oh, we got to bring the camera a little closer, a little bit farther away. We're like, yep, with each other. And, you know, this stuff happens. We've been doing this for years, yet stuff gets in the way. How do you heal that in the moment? And it's just so funny because here we are, we're about to speak about this and we have this snap right in the moment, right before we're about to start. So how do you heal that? We're going to show you how we healed that, because we can tell you about it, but we really want to show you what we do, because right now we could be a little closer, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
We could heal this.
Absolutely. So,
Okay.
you know, Suzanne and I have been together for all these years, as you've heard, and it's been a blessing, and it's been very intense at times, coming from different backgrounds, Hindu, Indian, very conservative in our own ways, brought up where the women are meant to serve the men, with all these imprints of yesterday. And you?
Yeah, so I came from a Jamaican background, which, you know, as a Jamaican woman,
You serve her. That's how it works.
Woo, I like it. Yes, finally, 35 years later. Woo! No, but you know, we've come from two different cultural backgrounds, and I don't know where you're at. And when you're watching this, whether you're single or you're in a couple, and that you're coming from two different backgrounds, two different worlds, just like today, we're speaking about the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It may seem like two different worlds, but it really, as Nina Gray said, you know, we really are playing on the same side.
So Suzanne and I, we've been practicing ways of coming into union and oneness as a practice. Love not as something that happens, but love as a discipline. One of the things coming from the martial traditions is we don't count on love or our awareness to be there. We cultivate our love, our awareness, our presence. So to bring it right down, we'd love to share with you the essence of what we've learned through these years in a very simple practice. And it's the masculine triangle, if you imagine, very summated, is like this, like the mountain, the penis, the mountain going from earth to the heavens, ascension from the gross domain all the way to the subtle domains, many different forms of this presentation. But imagine it as three aspects: presence, which is the absolute embodiment of consciousness ever present with your lover, with life, with your children, with what you're doing, the Zen of nowness with heart. So full presence.
So yeah, so we're bringing presence is part of the masculine
triangle.
The masculine triangle. And so what is the complement to that? So the complement to that in the feminine triangle, which would be the opposite way around, like the shape of a yoni, for instance, is invitation. So invitation, it's like, you know, in the moment of our strife right here, how can I bring my beloved back into presence? Well, I can touch him. I can massage him. I can look at him with eyes of, beloved, we are on the same side.
So it's the offering of presence and the offering of
invitation.
They create a dynamic where we pull each other into union through our separative visions, through our tension. Now, the last thing I want to do is offer my presence when she's not being inviting. The last thing she wants to do is inviting to me if I'm distracted. But in love, it's the very thing you offer is the very thing you're not getting. It's the devotion to being bigger, deeper than that.
When they don't deserve it. Because they don't deserve it. Do you deserve it? Do any of us deserve it? Yes, the answer is yes to all of that.
So we'll offer each other presence and invitation. Beloved, I offer you all of me, right here.
I love that. And I invite all of you, my beloved, to be here with me. All right, so the next piece to this.
So there's presence, then there's claim, and claim in the masculine means standing for something. It doesn't matter whether it's men, women, whatever type of orientation you identify or don't identify with. It's claim, groundedness in reality. What do you stand for? What do you not stand for? What are your values? Who are you with? Who are you not with? How can you be with? Claim is saying, I am here in reality.
Yes. And so the other side to that is surrender. in the triangle of the feminine. Now that is a dirty word in some places because it sounds like giving up, but surrender is actually relaxing into your natural state, which is love, which really is love, as Eden said so well. And so when my beloved says, I claim you, I claim who I am, I get to go, yes, I receive that. I let go and I allow.
And that stokes my desire to be more in union, more aligned, even more loyal, and bring my lady into greater union with me, to cleave with her through any circumstance. And then the last thing we'll share, in essence, is there's presence claim, then there's penetration. Now, this is not some type of gross penetration. It's the sense that my presence, my heart, my love is already within you. Beloved, I'm already inside of you.
Yes!
I don't need to grab at you because, you know, babe, all of me is already deeply in you.
Woo! Love it.
So that's
Love it.
penetration.
So that's penetration. And so then maybe you're getting that. So the feminine side to that is expression. It's the woo. It's the yeah. You're already inside of me. Yes, baby. I love that. You know, I mean, because why else would they want to? Unless you show your pleasure.
So that's a little example of how we play with these energies, not as a old-fashioned philosophy, but as a game of lovers. So I hope a little bit of that touches your heart, presence, claim, and penetration.
Invitation, surrender, and expression.
Keep playing, beloveds. Keep playing. Keep playing. Keep it alive.
Come back to love.
Thank you so much, Satan and Suzanne. And we've been putting in the chat box. You can go join their Warrior Sage. Satan posts the most incredible things. I'm not someone who surfs the internet. I'm a pretty busy guy. But anything he posts, and he posts 3-4 things a day, they're always extraordinary. Sometimes they're conversations he's having with amazing leaders. Sometimes they're memes. But his wisdom is really powerful, and you'll find it on warriorsage.com, or you can find them on the Facebook group. And Satan, is there anything else you want to let people know about, where people can find you or that you're especially excited about?
Well, you know, you're all welcome to go to our warriorsage.com page, and we have a free training called Relationship Activation. You can download it. It's absolutely free. You can use it for all forms of relationship and really heal the wounds, and at the same time up-level your depth of connection. So please enjoy. You can find that over at warriorsage.com.
Love you guys. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you all. Much love.
And now for our next presentation, I'm turning it over to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott. And we are lucky to again be able to hear Indubious. They are an amazing brother team that plays their own music. They write and contract their own music, and it's reggae based, but very heart based, very progressive based, and something Scott and I love. We're so happy for them to come back and share their good vibes, their love, and their incredible music. Thank you, Indubious.
Well, it's, you know, it's our own music as far as anyone can claim anything, which is not much, right? We give all praises to the inspiration that comes through us, and we make ourselves a vessel through which this channel can come. So true. We're all part of the same energy flowing here, feminine and masculine, right? Get my reverb. Boom. Oh yeah. Hey Scott, let's mute your channel here for a second, brother. Thank you. With me.
We're in a certain situation, wouldn't love to see you down.
remember roots bust through concrete every time. Red, gold, green, blue Kachina stars align. Time keepers of the earth on the rise. Oh, we're not about good people living wicked in this time. I tell ya this and that and this and never look you in the eye. You see our hearts clear out of fear in this life. Sure have to remind your mouth and your mind. Never let them fool ya. You're coming from one ancient shy. Will be a keeper in inside. Never let them fool ya. You can't break the ties that man will choose. Speak a warrior bloodline. You never let them fool ya. You're coming from one ancient shy. Never let them fool ya. You can't break the ties that man so rise up. Seventh generation.
2460106 24101.
Yeah, now I'm the system of the sea, I get chopped down. Remember, also when they overcome, we just grow strong.
Kind of from around here. They were a huge band now. I kind of knew them when they were Snot Nose as a kid. They were great.
Grove Valley or?
Thank you for calling Car Shield.
Yeah, we're coming from one ancient shy. We'll be as keeping the side. You can't break the ties that bad. We'll choose speak a warrior bloodline. You never let them fool ya. You're coming from one ancient shy. We'll be as keeping the side. Never let them fool ya. You can't break the ties that bad. So rise up, sir. The seventh generation.
Here's the
Seventh generation. Oh. What tribalistic, magnificent, intrinsic, so listen. Sensitive wisdom, past up a belt out to the infant. Don't recall you miss it. The blueprint genes holding low manifest all over birth. That's a trenches. Don't fight this and fight this. The open up eyelids. Mind is its I like it shining the brightest. I like to swing lineage from kings and queens born of the sun. So no one Babylon can
This is Ram, the mantras repeating, Syrian Pravigveda, Bhagavad Gita revealing.
I shot to Buddha, to Allah, to Krishna, Selassie, I want one blood that we
Quantum mechanics and physics revisit the fact that our matter is formed. Say by the witness.
Say order of planets can order of planet. The plan is not planned by humanity.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh.
And now a word from our ancestors. Never let them fool ya. We're coming from one ancient shy. We'll be a skipper in the side. Never let them fool ya. You can't break the ties that bad. But you speak a warrior bloodline. Never let them fool ya. You're coming from one ancient shy.
Keep us in inside. Never let them fool ya. No.
You can't break the ties that bad. So rise up. The seventh generation. Thank you all for having us.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very, very much. And you can all get a lot more Indubious by going to their website, which is Indubious Music, indubiousmusic.com.
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff there going on. #1 reggae album. Well, we got a reggae night going on between Indubious and Pato Banton and Antoinette Hall tonight. That's pretty cool. Anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. Thanks for being so flexible with us this evening. We love you. And
I love you, brother. Thank you all so much. Blessed. Blessings.
Take care. So there's a lot going on in our world, and we've talked about it. We've heard a little bit about it. And I just want to kind of bring our attention to what's been going on with the California wildfire season. To give you some perspective, the wildfires have been really bad for the last 5 years. And the record for most acres burned in an entire California wildfire season was 1.9 million acres. We currently have over 4 million acres that have burned. Another way of looking at what's going on, 5 of the 7 largest wildfires in the history of California are happening right now. 5 of the 7 largest wildfires ever are still burning. Some of them are finally getting contained, and some of them are out of control. And of course, it's having a tremendous impact on a lot of people. These are some photos taken of the home of Richard and Earthstar, taken a few weeks ago. There's their cat out in the backyard. And there's Earthstar, who you're about to meet. And these are photos of that same property. So we kind of look at these photos. It gives us just the extraordinary awareness of what's going on in Oregon, California, all over the West Coast. You know, this show began as a fundraiser. Deborah Juicy and I did a fundraising event for a friend of ours, and we were going to do it live, and then the pandemic happened. We had to switch to online, and it just kind of grew and grew and grew into the show that you're all watching right now. And we've continued the fundraising quality of this show. And now tonight, we're supporting fire victims. And so please go to the GoFundMe. Deborah is putting the link into the chat boxes, whether you're on Facebook or on Zoom, or go to GoFundMe and just go to Global Peace Tribe. And I want to just introduce you to some of the people that have been impacted. So Earthstar and Richard, if you could unmute yourselves. I did mute you a moment ago, so you could unmute yourselves. And I'm putting the spotlight on you. And those photos you just saw came from Earthstar and Richard. And thank you so much for being with us tonight. How are you? I mean, it's kind of funny to ask how you two are doing, but how are you feeling? What's it like for you right now? What's your experience like?
Well, it's a very interesting time for us. You know, big transformation again is happening in our lives. You know, it's a whole different world to what it was just a few weeks ago. But fortunately, we have a strong tribe up here, and we've had a lot of blessings. My association with Oregon Shakespeare Festival has been, I've been with them for 15 years, so they gave us an apartment, a little tiny apartment. So
With our cat.
with our cat, yeah. So we've had a lot of blessings and a lot of really dear friends who've been very supportive. But we lost everything. All I had was the clothes I was wearing when I got out of there. And fortunately, I was able to get some of my beloved guitars out, so I could. But I lost all my sound equipment, you know, a lot, just everything actually. So I'll just be going to have to rebuild. What else can you do in this time?
Rebuild our lives, really. Yeah.
And you two have been married for a long time. How long have you two been together?
It's 28 years now, yeah.
Oh.
It's 1992, yeah.
So how appropriate that you are on the show that's honoring the divine feminine and divine masculine. And, you know, God bless your marriage, God bless your coupleship, and God bless you through this extraordinary chapter of your life.
Thank you, yeah.
It's really...
we've been blessed with our relationship. You know, it's just been amazing. Of course, ups and downs like everything, but.
Earthstar, you want to say something?
Oh, it's been just something you never think that it'll happen to you. You think it happens to other people or it happens somewhere else. That for so many years we would see on the media and the news, disaster over here, disaster over there. And we'd feel so safe. We'd feel like we're in this amazing place. There's never anything happens here that goes wrong. And we lived like 4 blocks from the fire station. which always made me feel safe. Now we know all these things can be such an illusion, you know, and you just, and then when it happens, even then, you can't believe it's happening while it's happening. And literally running around the house and grabbing things that are magical. I have this magical treasure trove room that I created in our house was like that too. And grabbing something, you know, and just going, and then leaving other things behind thinking, of course I'll come back. And your brain can't connect. It's something that we never can understand until it happens. And I almost feel like it would be a training to do, to train for emergencies, you know, and that you'd be ready then somehow. But I don't want to be ready now next time. I don't want it to happen again. So once is enough. And the friends here supporting us, like today, my girlfriends had a party. That's why I was late, a little late. And they just gave me all these beautiful, I wear white all the time now. And they gave me all these beautiful white clothes and just showering me with gifts. And you know, I just feel so loved.
Well, thank you both for being with us. And I want to just let our audience know that all the money that comes in to GoFundMe tonight is going to be shared between Earthstar and Richard and two other families. And representing one of the other families is Tristan. And Tristan's home, Earthstar and Richard lost their home up in Oregon. This woman, Tristan, that you're looking at, she lost her home on Monday, the glass fire in Santa Rosa. Hello, Tristan. Thank you for being with us.
Hello. Hi, Scott, and hi, Deborah. And hello to everyone near and far. I just want to send out my condolences to you, Richard and Earthstar, and also Mahara that's on the call as well. Yeah, I mean, I'm fresh in it, but I know what you're going through. And yeah, oddly, it's not something I ever really thought would happen to me either, Earthstar. However, I had a lot of drills here in Sonoma County because we've had a lot of evacuations. And I've watched actually quite a few of my friends lose everything, which has been devastating. So it was quite a shock actually that it was our turn. And when we were running out the house, myself, my kids, and my husband, I didn't necessarily think logically that I wasn't going to go back home because each other time I'd come back home. But there was something intuitively inside me that I did say goodbye to my family portrait. We had this huge, gorgeous, massive oil painting of our family that was done when our children were little, and it was too big to fit in the car. And I just looked at it like, okay, goodbye. And I'd never done that before. So it was like something inside of me must have sensed, you know, that we weren't coming back.
And you know, it is really one of these things where we have community. And interesting, Tristan pointed out to me that she had been on one of my Love Coach Academy online shows just 6 weeks ago. And, you know, we're all kind of coming together. I've had a lot of people, several people told me about Tristan, several people told me about Earthstar and Richard. So I want to just acknowledge our community and thank you, everybody. I see a lot of donations are coming in. And later on today, I'm going to give thanks to those of you who donate. We read everybody's names. If you want to be anonymous, then you can be anonymous. But thank you so much for your donations. And Earthstar, Richard, Tristan, I hope that if you want to stay for the show, maybe we can hear from you a little bit later if you wish to speak again. I'm going to shift the gear for a moment too, because this is all about community. And there's a man who's been a very important part of our community, Jay Mayer. And Jay really showed up when we first started doing fundraising. He made some really significant contributions to us and a lot of contributions to support whoever we were focusing on with GoFundMe. And Jay is, and that's how I got to know him. I did not know Jay before. We were acquaintances, but it was really as he came through and provided all this support, first through GoFundMe and then support for our show to help us keep this going. And then I got to know what he's created. He's created something called Light Touch. Those of you who've seen the show previously have heard me talking about it. But for any of you who are new, I want to introduce you a little bit to Light Touch. I do it now every day. Jay and myself and people in Love Coach Academy, we start our morning every morning. We come together and we pray together. We pray for Earthstar and Richard and Mahara and Tristan. We pray for each other. We pray for our world. And it's all about doing light touch. And here's a video I pre-recorded to tell you a little bit more about it. Create peace in the world by creating peace in our relationships. And light touch is the most powerful, simple practice that can help us to calm our own nervous system and be ready to really connect. Even when somebody is throwing something difficult at you, even when somebody is off center, light touch helps me to get centered, to remember that great spirit is flowing through me, to feel my connection to the earth, to feel my connection to my heart. I've also witnessed how light touch has helped so many couples go from being angry, hurt, and aggressive to gently reconnecting. It's a beautiful way to reconnect. So please, take a look, go down to our website, and discover how light touch can support you and your relationships. And thank you for watching.
Divine appointments.
Jay talks a lot about divine appointments. And if you would like to get a free consultation, Jay and Love Coach Academy is providing our Love Coaches, offering free 15-minute discovery sessions. So if you go to light-touch.me or to lovecoachacademy.com, that's where you can register for a free session with one of our Love Coaches. And now to introduce our keynote speaker, who we're really happy to have, I'm turning it over to my partner, Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Jay. And we are so happy to present an icon in the relationship education of our society. There is some of those books that come through and really create a whole new consciousness of operating that have happened in the last 30 or 40 years. And John Gray created one of those books. It was actually listed as one of the top most influential books in the last quarter century. And that's the book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. But John has also written over 20 books. His most recent book, Beyond Mars and Venus, goes another level of new relationship skills for our complex modern world. So, and he's a plethora of information on all kinds of health products and services. So he's got a lot to share, but we're happy to have him here on this very special show of healing the divine masculine and feminine. Thank you, John, for being here.
Oh, I'm so happy to be with you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote an outline for this talk since it's going to be just 10 minutes. I can ramble on, I'll tell you. So I'm going to talk about the benefits of balancing our divine masculine and feminine. I'm going to talk about the biological hormonal basis of increasing enlightenment, which is as we balance the masculine and feminine within us. I'm going to talk about the future of relationships, from the traditional role mate to the soulmate, and then to the twin souls. I'm going to talk about new communication skills to awaken the divine feminine and masculine. And I have to say, I've been so inspired by everyone who shared so far. It was just so precious, personal experiences. I have so much content I want to share, so I'll only do a little bit of that, but I will. And then if I have time, I'll get to tantric sex and the ultimate ecstasy of heartfelt monogamy. So I'll start with a little story of where I am today. I'm alone in my home. My wife passed 2 years ago, my dear Bonnie of 34 years. And she is a part of all of my books. Everything I've written has always been inspired by her. I think more than a muse of my adoring, loving wife is the lessons she taught me to be a better man. And so I share that insight throughout my books. And I'm very much aware that many people are not in relationships right now. Many people are not in heterosexual relationships. Many people are binary, non-binary. And really the message in my new work, which is Beyond Mars and Venus, is taking us out of simple old-fashioned roles of men and women. And for many people, that's very appropriate. That's their lifestyle. I honor that. But I remember I was a monk for 9 years. I was the personal assistant to Maharishi of the Tia movement and celibate. So even if you're celibate, I know what a joy it is if you have spirituality, because it definitely can enhance it. Now, as I age, of course, in my marriage with Bonnie, it was tantric sex, which allows me to almost stay celibate and yet enjoy a great loving sex life. I won't have time to go into the details of that, nor did she like me talking about the details of that. So I do it very generally. But we're all going through this cosmic reset right now. And it's learning how to let go. And I know in letting go of my wife, Bonnie, it has opened my heart even more. As a writer, you know, back in the day when our computers would crash and you'd lose some material, I would be like struggling through a chapter or something and going, this really isn't good, this paragraph, I can't get it to be clear. And then my computer would crash and I looked at that paragraph and go, oh my gosh, that was the best thing I ever written. You know, it's one of the deficiencies of human beings, so to speak, is we don't appreciate what we have. Quite often we take it for granted. But that's the healing that happens when we lose something. And sometimes that comes along to help us open our hearts even more. So I thank my wife for the wisdom she shared with me and the love she supported me with. So the benefits of balancing our male and female energies. You know, my work now is helping people understand biologically as divine beings, and we are divine beings housed in this body. And we chose this body, we chose this gender, and we have to honor this body. Just as I eat healthy foods, I take supplements, I learned about all that 20 years ago. I had early stage Parkinson's and I reversed that, understanding how to take extra supplements if your brain is having challenges. And mine did. Had a massive concussion in a car accident and various things, and I needed to restore. Sometimes we need extra help other than just good diet. So just as we have to honor the body to bring the spirit forth, we need to honor the hormones in our body. And what is the reality that nowhere it's taught? I was just writing a whole page of all the scientific references, and never when people talk about hormones do they reference behavioral things. And yet there are some studies that do show that, which is when you are feeling dependent on someone. And I love the music artist before saying, you know, love is someone you can depend on, you can trust, they've got your back, they're there for you, just as my wife has always been there for me. And I'm there for her. That's the best side of us. That's where we're dependent on someone. Well, it turns out that when you depend on someone and you feel I can get what I need from them, it increases a hormone called estrogen. And for women to access their pineal gland and bring in the divine, their estrogen levels need to be about 10 to 20 times higher than the average man. And for men to access his pineal gland and bring in the divine, opening his heart to his highest self, to embody that, his testosterone levels need to be about 20 to 50 times more than a woman's. So what we understand through my work is that you can learn new behaviors, new ways of communicating that I can do to embrace the feminine in my wife and make sure her estrogen goes up, to embrace the masculine and make sure his testosterone goes up, which is the speakers tonight all did that. Men are not all bad. Certainly there's a few bad ones out there, but oh my gosh, these are the guys who give their lives to save their families. There's the guys in a hurricane that are out there in their trucks giving out food and protecting people and doing the dirty, dangerous, difficult stuff. And unfortunately, a system that doesn't reward men can bring out the worst of men, because testosterone is necessary for men's positive behavior. And he needs to be rewarded for what he does, acknowledged for what he does. And without that reward and acknowledgement, his testosterone goes down. And then he goes into a stress reaction. For women, when their estrogen goes down, they go into a stress reaction. And when you're in a stress reaction, you're now the victim of reactive brain, the conditioning that we're all born with, just as I was born with my father's nose and my mother's eyes. The whole heritage of my lineage is in there from back to monkeys. So couples end up looking like monkeys sometime. So the benefit of balancing those hormones through behaviors, and one of behavior, I have hundreds of them in my books, is men, listen, be present. I love that talking about. Ask questions, a practical tip. When your wife's talking, before you say anything, help me understand that better. Tell me more. What else? Is there anything more? And women, when you're sharing with a man and something triggers inside of you, try to hold back from trying to change his point of view. And instead, and this is good for both genders, look at what's good in what they're saying and acknowledge it, even though you might disagree with other things, something along the lines of, that's a good idea. Well, that makes sense. I don't have the same point of view, but I really, it must be amazing to look at the world that way. Be amazed, be in awe, be appreciative. Ultimately, whenever you feel appreciated, whether you're a man or woman, your testosterone goes up. And if you feel cared for and someone understands you and respects you as an equal and honors you, that brings up your feminine energy. And as many people have spoken tonight, as a man, I have both, okay? And I have the freedom to be in both. That's spirituality. And I talk about this, and I was inspired from my Beyond Mars and Venus book, because one day I was meditating. I meditate for hours every day. I love it. I'm a professional, 50 years, so I do hours. And then suddenly a booming voice spoke to me. This never happened before. It's never happened since. A booming voice spoke to me. And the tone in that voice was so powerful and so gentle and kind and loving and nurturing, and the power of confidence and selflessness. In that moment, I experienced the divine masculine and the feminine as one, and realized that that is what I'm to teach. Helping women, which today often are challenged because their tendency is for them, when you're free to be on your male and female side, which is our more enlightened society, what happens is it's easier for a man to go over to his female side. It's easy. Sit and watch a football game, drink some beer, play video games, do some online porn. Any of that stuff massively increases estrogen and decreases your testosterone, lowering your masculinity to respect femininity. Whenever a man is angry, whenever he's arguing, whenever he's mad, his estrogen levels are surging, his testosterone is going down. He needs time to recover. Hence the ideas in my books became quite popular. Men in their caves. He needs to go to his cave. Stop talking at those times, because whenever you talk, your estrogen goes higher if you're talking about emotions and feelings. Basically speaking, when you have positive emotions, men, your estrogen levels are about equal to your testosterone levels. You've found your balance, your heart is open. But when your estrogen surges above, you tend to either withdraw, or if you stay interacting, you get angry, you get defensive, you get argumentative. That's the time for a timeout. Practical techniques. And for women, when a guy's angry, it's good to just, if you can stay centered, it's fine to hear what he says. But if he's plugging you in, which generally happens, triggers something, it's good to take a timeout. And often women instinctively want to ask questions to engage a man at that time, because if he was to ask questions, engage her estrogen would go up, her stress levels would go down, blood flow would go to the forehead, to the pituitary gland, and suddenly our heart is open. So those are some ideas around that. So the biological basis of our growing in enlightenment is finding this hormone balance, not taking hormones, doing those behaviors, setting those mindsets, interacting with others in a way that triggers those hormones. Now, if you're alone and single and you're a woman, you're more on your independent side. That's always going to stimulate more testosterone. So it's important to know the behaviors that can increase estrogen so you can find that balance. And men, if you're alone and you have to basically find those behaviors that will trigger your testosterone, because it's so easy to be at home and zone out watching Netflix, do pornography, online sex. This is all proven to reduce your testosterone levels by 50%. So there's ways we can build our testosterone. For example, for me, it's meditation is a testosterone rebuilder. Working out in the gym is a testosterone rebuilder. Driving my car, anything that challenges you that you embrace is a testosterone rebuilder. For women, anytime you can seek out nurturing support, if you go walk in a forest and you feel connected with the nature, you're feeling supported by that. Anytime you get to do something, you enjoy doing something, you like to do something, that's going to stimulate estrogen. When you're in that place of, I have to do this, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough support, it's all up to me, that's your testosterone world. Your adrenaline and cortisol is being produced at that moment, and you can't access your pineal gland to open your heart. So these are biological realities we want to honor in our body. I think my time's getting close to up, but I'll quickly do these other points. The future of relationships, we have these traditional roles that help men build their testosterone and women build their estrogen. The old traditional thing of the man providing and the woman receiving. That's still in us. Those are the hormones of providing is testosterone, receiving is estrogen. However, now we can go back and forth, and that's a soulmate relationship, a relationship where we are challenged on an emotional level. See, and soulmate and role-mate relationships, primarily it's for survival and security. But once we can provide our own survival and security, as Maslow stated, we get to a higher level of need. We're in a place where we need more emotional support. That becomes just as important as food. And that emotional support I have labeled as, in my books, helping women come back to their female side, because every woman that's come to my office over 40 years has felt overwhelmed because she's too far on her male side, how to come back to the female. And what men can do is come back to their masculine side through relationship by learning how to honor the feminine. Because when I would honor Bonnie and her feminine side, hear her feelings, validate her feelings, do things for her, share with her, not that she didn't do that for me, but when I would do that, my own female side would come up along with my masculine, and I'd find that beautiful balance that would awaken heartfelt interaction. So we have the soulmate as primarily relationships which have a higher threshold of need. And so you go through all these moments, the ups and downs of relationships where you get triggered by your partner, and you overcome that trigger by finding love for your partner, love for yourself. And then you get to the twin soul relationship. I'd say the last 10 years of my marriage with Bonnie was my twin soul relationship with her, where we were in harmony literally almost all the time. And it wasn't just, learning to accept your partner. It was a passionate relationship. It had great sex. It was fantastic. It was monogamous. And what I believe is the greatest sex is monogamy, because it creates a sense of deep, deep commitment and safety for women to feel special, that she is the number one. And that when she feels that safety, I feel the number one because I'm providing that for her. And there's a many, many beautiful women in the room and in the world, but the only one I want to be with is my wife. And that can be achieved particularly through good relationship skills outside the bedroom, balancing the hormones through communication and through great sex. And we're able to achieve that harmony almost all the time of twin souls. So now we're going to move on to new communication skills to awaken the divine masculine and feminine. A quick little game I suggested last time is called Genie in the Bottle. If you're gay, straight, whatever, everybody can do this if somebody to do it with, which is for 20 minutes. The person who's more on their female side basically is powerless. They can't do anything for themselves. And whatever they want, they have to ask their partner, and their partner on the male side will provide whatever they say. And it basically, would you empty the dishwasher, for example? And your partner say, absolutely, I'll do it in a moment with a big smile. And you try to ask for as many things as possible. Would you go get your favorite oil, and would you give me a foot massage? Or would you cook dinner and now serve me and every bite give to me? It's very fun, where she's experiencing, I have a need and I have a genie that will fulfill it instantly. So that's a fun game to do to help balance those hormones in our body. And finally, tantric sex, the ultimate ecstasy of monogamy. There's so many of my friends who do, I started teaching enlightened sexuality and tantra back in 1979. I was a celibate monk and went from there because I was never had sex. Now suddenly sex was fascinating to me. So now I wanted to create discussion groups of what makes sex great. And of course, it turns out that it's always the love. And there's a lot. Then I studied 10 years in China, Taoist sex. I studied in India. I've been there 32 times, tantric sex, meditation, all those various things. And to a great extent, they're all out of date because they don't emphasize the power of love and openness and transparency and passion. And that comes not by doing meditation, breathing techniques to bring the energy up. It's about being present with your partner, understanding her biological needs, his biological needs, and feeling the energy in your heart and having conversation. I just want to say to women, if you're, well, I won't go that far. I know my time's pretty much up, but ultimately.
Say it, John, say it. Go ahead, go for it.
Well, there's so much to say, but okay, I'll say that one little point. Today, there's so much pressure on women dating men to have sex right away. And then they usually complain to me, he disappears afterwards, because men, before they're going to bond with you fully, see, they start out south as the triangle thing. We start out down here and go up here. And if we just have sex with you, we like ourselves more, but not you. We need to connect with our heart first with you. We need to have conversation with you. We need to hear you and still be turned on to you. That will create lasting interest. So don't rush right into the sexual experience, please. If you've had a pattern of men disappearing on you, and I see it so common because there's so much pressure on women to seek to hold the man, to please the man by offering what he wants. But many men want sex. What they really don't know is what they need is love. And it's through having a relationship. And when you are sharing on the mind level first, then the heart level, then the physical level, you have to get all those levels in there. And ultimately on the spiritual level, when you have all three, you have that awakening. And when it comes to the whole idea of tantric sex, I see so many people completely diluting the message of it. The bottom line of it, and this is only a basic thing, it's men learning to be multi-orgasmic and never needing to ejaculate. If a man ejaculates, his testosterone goes down 50%. So you're looking at me, and I was celibate for 9 years, so I learned how to do it. And then you learn how to do it when you're making love. This is a new experience for men. This is the enlightened sexuality. This is beyond what most couples experience. But even if you're going to have regular sex, make sure it's loving. And hear this little bit of research that came out of Japan, which is amazing to me. If you have regular sex with someone you love brings up estrogen. The passion is the testosterone. So you basically have sex. For a man, his testosterone will go down 50%. It cuts down 50%, and it takes 6 days for it to double again. So many couples lose interest because they had too much sex. And of course, they don't have good relationship skills that can do it. So just if you do anything too much, it's not good. Anything not enough is not good. But there are wonderful books out there. I have courses on and classes on it, how you can, as a man, train yourself to not be like a monkey and ejaculate every time, because we're addicted to that. We think we have to do that, and experience the rising waves of orgasm and orgasm, which if you can be that focused and present during sex without having it be more about you than her, she can let go of her mind and go fully into her body and experience again and again what the French call a little death. And that's learning to help a woman experience the full experience of her orgasmic potential through a man who understands what she needs and a woman who understands how she needs to let go and trust her man. But you can't get that place if you don't have the love. The whole key is to find the love. And then the old-fashioned techniques are not so significant. We are a different race now, or a different consciousness now, where emotional fulfillment is our primary need to lower stress so we can connect with our pineal gland. And this is all very biologically tested and proven. It's been such a joy to share some of these ideas so quickly. And I want to invite people to join me at my website, marsvenus.com, for a free class. I'm getting rave reviews back in the day when I wrote Men Are From Mars. Wherever I went, people loved the book. Well, now people are loving this course, and it's free. It's 4 days. You see the beautiful woman to the side. That's my daughter, Lauren. She's been teaching these ideas for 10 years. And as a proud father, I have to say she does a better job than me. But she learned from me. She's got a great relationship. You know, people always said, oh, she'll never find a man because you're such a great father. I said, no, she has the role model that men can be trusted. Men are to be appreciated. And she found a guy that puts me to shame. He's an amazing husband, and I'm so grateful. Well, I'm grateful I helped her find him. So I'm happy. I'm happy that she has found the love of her life. And I think that if to the great extent as couples with our children, if we can be good role models of good communication, we can ensure that our children will find lasting love as well. So thank you for letting me be here, Scott and Deborah. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And I've just so enjoyed the evening, and I'll continue watching. Thank you.
Well, thank you, John. There's so much that we just all learned. I want to just take, again, a couple breaths to digest how much wisdom we just received. So much wisdom. And this is all being recorded. So definitely make sure you're on our email list so you can get the replay. Go back and watch what John shared, because he gave so much wisdom in such a short period of time. I am so grateful, John. Also want to acknowledge I lost my wife. She passed away a while back. And isn't it amazing how our beloveds, when it is that kind of a soulmate connection, they live on inside of us. They live on forever inside.
I want to share, I'm having this, my wife Bonnie loved trees. We live in forests. We had a ranch in these giant redwood trees, 80 trees over 500 years old. And she was enamored by them. And I'm like looking at the trees. Now I go for walks in the redwood forest every week. And I just look up at these live beings that are taller than life. And it's shockingly amazing. Reverence. So she has passed that on to me. The divine feminine in her lives on in me. And I'm so grateful for that.
For me, there's times I'm coaching and I'll hit a spot and I just don't know what to say or do. And then all of a sudden it comes through, and I swear it's like Suchi, my wife, whispering into my ear, go there, say this, notice that. So it's a beautiful thing. And a reminder again, everybody, you can get this. Imagine John is offering a free course, and you get that by going to his website, marsvenus.com. marsvenus.com. I also want to acknowledge that John has made a very, very generous donation to our GoFundMe tonight. That just happened. And John, thank you. All the money tonight goes to our 3 families that we're supporting who lost everything in the fire. So thank you very much for your generous donation.
I was so touched and moved, and I want to share briefly part of what's helping me. I mean, the losses that people are suffering in this fire. There was a thing on the news yesterday of a mother of an autistic son, and you know, when the house was on fire, she could get out easily, but she's trying to get her son, who's autistic and twice as big as her. So she was found holding her son, burned alive. This is the divine feminine that gives up her life, cares so much for her child. Every time I think about that, it brings me to tears. And so I know the losses that people are experiencing now. So I'm happy to do what I can.
Wow, that's a heck of a story. I have a client, not in this fire, but the fire 2 years ago. Got a phone call at 3 o'clock in the morning. She didn't know that fires were happening. It was her mother. And her mother was very calm and said, hi, honey. Why are you calling at 3 o'clock in the morning, Mom? I just wanted to say goodbye and tell you that I love you. Mom, what are you talking about? My house is on fire and I'm not going to be here much longer, but I just wanted you to know that I love you. And kind of like John said, they found her mom's body a few days later. I mean, this is what's going on in our world. And so we are the imaginal cells. We are the butterfly cells coming together to create the butterfly out of the dying caterpillar. And every one of you watching, everyone watching, you have a beautiful and important role to play in this new world that is going to come out of the old one. And we provide this show because there are people like John and everyone that you're meeting who have so much wisdom to share. And that wisdom inspires us, and hopefully inspires us to then take our medicine, whatever it is we need to do. Some of you, it might be just resting right now. It's okay to be in a time of rest. But whatever it is, we're in a global timeout, a time to slow down and tune in and really follow that inspiration. That's why we provide this inspiration. And that's a segue into a woman who just inspires me so much. I was, every person we invited on the show, when they said yes, I was like, oh, thank you. Thank you, John Gray, for saying yes. And thank you, Nina Gray. Oh, John Gray and Nina Gray. Isn't that something? Maybe you're related. Twins separated at birth. come back together on Saturday Night Alive, and we didn't even realize that. You know, I do want to tell people a little bit about Nina Gray. She left corporate America on the same day that Steve Jobs passed in 2011 and dedicated her life to creating from the heart, creating art and wellness spaces for creatives, all from a heartfelt place. As a recording artist, she's committed to creating music with consciousness, love-centric messages, and aspires for her music to be a home and a sanctuary for humanity from the duality of the world. She truly is embodying that. And as we listen to her music, I see within her the divine feminine, the muse that's bringing forth spirit that inspires us, the masculine, to put our strength and our energy behind that wisdom. So thank you, Nina. And I know you have a very specific song to play right now.
I do. Thank you. Thank you for that wisdom, John. And I'm definitely feeling inspired and realizing this link of hormonal embodiment and rising estrogen. Music has been that tool to really step into that space and honor the divine feminine within me and raise my estrogen. And I think that link just got made tonight. So thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you. This song is it's called Woman. And not to be polarizing, because I know that there's the divine feminine in us all, and some females may not identify as woman, but this is for the divine feminine energy rising and the woman that is so majestic in this world.
I bring heaven into the moment. I bring sun into the shadows that roll in. I take away the weight of the world. Just call on me. I'm not your girl, baby. I'm your woman. I could take away your pain without a prescription, but my love might get you up and addicted. I could ignite the inside of your soul. Just call on me. I'm not your girl, baby. I'm your woman. I'm your woman. Woman, we've been waiting for you. Woman, your time has come. Woman, we've been praying for you. It's time to rise up, rise up, rise up now. Woman, we've been waiting for you. Oh, woman, your time has come. Woman, we've been praying for you. It's time to light it up, light it up, light it up now. Oh, that woman.
Thank you.
I'm going to take people to her website, and I just want to invite everybody to experience kind of the way she's set it up. And so as we go to the website, which is going to take a moment here, you were quicker, your song was shorter than I was expecting, so I was just pulling it up. So we go to Nina Gray, and it's spelled GRAE.com. Cut through the noise. Absolutely, cut through the noise. And look at what happens as we shift into what a time to be alive. And so Nina and her music really helps us, and she provides video and ways to get her music. And really, let's all become patrons. I promise you, I'm going to become a patron of Nina Gray. It is so important for us to support artists, and Patreon is a wonderful way to do that. So I'm glad to see that Nina is on Patreon. So go there, because our artists need to be supported. That's really important at this time in our life. So Nina, thank you. And we're blessed. Nina's going to come back and give us another song at the end of the evening. So thank you, Nina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You know, thinking as we say thank you, this is one of my favorite times in the show. I'm going to thank the people who have donated so far, and a lot of people who donated. So here we go. First off, I want to thank all the people who have donated anonymously. Thank you. You know who you are. I also want to thank Jane, Kim, Eli, Ryan, Marlene, Paul, Jacqueline, Janet, Patricia, Michael, John, that's John Gray, who made a very beautiful donation, very generous, Jill, Jasmine, Iona, Thomas, Tim, Angela, and Deborah. So those are the people who've donated, along with the anonymous donations so far. And please do keep those donations coming in for our families in need. And I will, if you wish, read your name a little bit later on in the show. And I'm turning it back over now to Deborah.
Thank you, Scott, and thank you everyone for all your donations. It is going to flow back to all these people with so much love, green love. And on our show, we like to have fun and do all kinds of interesting entertainment. So lately we've been bringing in a lot of incredible magicians. And tonight we have a magician and an illusionist who's an international performer with over 10 years experience. He's a performing member of the Magic Castle in Hollywood. And he's performed for America's Got Talent and Masters of Illusion. And Tetro is featured on national commercials on CNN, MSNBC, and Fox. He was with us a couple months ago and we adored him. So we brought him back for this incredible show that we have tonight. Thank you, Tetro.
Thank you, Deborah. Hello, everyone. In the spirit of healing the divine masculine and feminine, the relationship between them, when I think of healing, I think of medicine, and anything that can bring joy without pain or harm, I believe can be good medicine. And for me, magic is one of the ways that I do that. So we'll go ahead and jump right in with some play here. Let's see. Jan, would you unmute your microphone? And in fact, the whole group here can unmute if you'd like, unless you have any distracting sounds in the background. Hi, Jan. All right, here we go. We're going to do a little playful observation game here, okay? I have 5 cards, and I want you to memorize everything that you can about these cards, okay? I'm going to give you 5 seconds to memorize the front. Sometimes things are easier than they sound. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right. Did you happen to see what the backmost card was?
Are you serious?
Yes. Because here.
Oh.
A little love, right? And did you happen to see what the backs of the cards looked like?
Well, hey, how'd you do that?
Well, if we missed this, we might have missed the full house. So sometimes there's a lot more love than we originally noticed. So
A whole lot of love. Wow. That's super cool.
And a round of applause for Jan for helping. Thank you, Jan.
Magician's assistant.
Yes.
Thank you. I get to be the magician's assistant.
Let's see. And we have Paul. Would you help me out for this one, please?
Yes.
Paul Sterling. Hi, Paul. You know, in addition to being a magician, I'm also an artist. I design, among other things, my own jewelry, including this necklace here that I wear for good luck. And the job of an artist is to take an idea that's in the mind and turn that into reality. Would you like to see a demonstration of that?
Absolutely.
Great. All right. In this case, we're going to take what's in your mind, and I'm going to draw a picture, but we're going to start with a card, okay? So I'm going to take out some cards here. And as you can see, I've got a lot of different cards, and they are all mixed up. I'm going to give these a mix, and I just want you to tell me when to stop whenever it feels right.
Stop.
Okay. Have a look at this card. I'll turn away.
Got it.
You got it memorized?
Yeah, luckily they're in big print too.
Yes, yes. I tried to pick cards that had large prints. Okay. And what we're going to do, I'm going to draw what I see in my mind, and I want you to just focus on the card in your mind, okay? Here we go. Let's see. I'm going to draw. We'll start with the obvious here. Now, I got to be honest, Paul, I'm kind of drawing a blank so far. Here, let me see if we have some mind reading music. Okay, here we go. Paul, when was the last time you drew something?
An hour ago.
I love it. I figured there's a lot of artists in this group, a lot of creative people. Okay. I have to warn you, Paul, I'm no Picasso, but neither was Rembrandt, right? Were you thinking of the Ace of Spades? No?
No.
Ooh. Yeah, here, you know what? I can fix this. We're just going to draw some dimensions. You see, this is really only the front card and a whole deck of cards, so it's definitely in there. Okay. I think we have to switch from mind reading to mind writing. I'll just draw some marks so we can remember the movement. And I think every good artist signs their work, so we'll just do a little. There we go. And as you can see, it is just ink and paper. Thank you, Paul, for helping out.
Very welcome.
That's my magic for you this round. I'll be back later for some more. Back to you, Deborah.
Actually, before we go away from Tetro,
thank you, Scott.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we want to support all of our artists, all of our speakers. So go to Tetro Magic, Tetro Magic, tetromagic.com. And that's where you can learn a lot more about what Tetro has to offer. You might want to bring them on board for your online birthday party, your online event, and all sorts of other things that he does in this new virtual online world that we're all in. And Tetro, thank you so much for being on. Again, we had you before, and it was like, let's get Tetro back. He rocks. So thank you.
Cool. It was a lot of fun. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. So we're going to go to another extraordinary couple. And this is kind of for the people in our Zoom room, this is going to be a little bit of a double dose. We had trouble getting on Facebook today. So instead of going live on Facebook at 6 o'clock, we had some tech issues and didn't get there till about 6:20. And Pato and Antoinette were kind enough to show their amazing wedding video and talk a little bit about what it's like. And for anybody who doesn't know, they are major reggae stars, but they also have been very involved in a wide variety of spiritual traditions. And I really respect that and appreciate that. And they have woven, this juncture of life, they weave together their music, their spirituality, their marriage, their children, and their lives. And the two of them are beautiful models of divine feminine, divine masculine within both, and how they support each other. So welcome back, Pato and Antoinette. And I invite you to share whatever you feel inspired to share, having watched the show, seen what's shared, what comes up for each of you? Anything from your own wisdom, personal experience, or your teachings.
All right. Well, firstly, I want to thank everyone that has spoken so far. Thank you to the amazing musicians. Thank you, Nina.
Thank you, John. I want to read your books. and the other couple too.
Yeah, so thank you, everyone. John touched on a lot of very meaningful subjects, and I love the way he intertwined everything that he had learned with his practical relationship with his partner. And I think, you know, earlier you asked me, you know, before we started the show, you asked us what was the secret, you know? And I think that is just, I'm going to go on back and say what my initial reply was. It's still a secret. It's a matter of applying what you learn through literature or from personal experience and having a desire to improve, having a desire to be more loving, to be more kind, to be more of service, and to bring happiness into people's lives. And it starts at home. Everything starts at home. If you don't have a happy home, you're not really in a great position to go and try and make the world a happier place. So you really have to, you know, set an example, you know, set your standards and your values and live them to the best of your ability, and be willing to learn and grow. Always be willing to learn and grow. And accept your humanity. Don't be satisfied with your humanity, but embrace your humanity, because our humanities, you know, they debate and disagree sometimes. But when we bring it back into our divinity, we see a way around any obstacle, and we see ways that we can understand each other from each other's points of view. And I liked what John was saying as well about monogamy, because I learned about that word a bit late in life, but I was when I found the Urantia book. The Urantia book says that the greatest level of a relationship that can be achieved is through monogamy, and that it engenders a beauty of sentiment that cannot be experienced in any other relationship. And once I learned about this word, I didn't grow up knowing anything about monogamy. I grew up in a very criminal environment where men dominated and did what they liked. And once I learned about monogamy and I learned about the equality of men and women, I started to have an appreciation for a woman's feelings, you know, not just the feelings that I can observe, because women have a great way of showing you what they want you to see, but having a deeper feeling of what was really going on and wanting to know, why is she upset? What have I done to contribute to this? What could be in her mood that's going on? What's going on in her world? And having that going likewise from my partner to me, you know, is a great benefit to our relationship. And I used to always shy away from deep communication. You know, I don't know if it was probably my male ego, but when my wife wanted to really get deep into a conversation, especially if it was something that was a sour point, I would try to shy away from it, you know. But increasingly now, when we talk about things, we go deep. We go deep, and we laugh about it. You know, we can actually have a heated debate and then discuss it and then laugh about the thing that was causing the heated debate and see the humor in it. You know, and
I see the humor because I think half the arguments are pretty petty and small anyways.
Yes.
You know, compared to a lot of relationships that are really in turmoil or in trouble, they're like very major things, but we don't actually have any major issues in our relationship.
No.
So if he gets upset about something that's very little, he'll make a molehill out of it.
Yeah.
It's really big.
So, you know, going back to what I said originally, applying what we've learned, because I could talk for hours about what I've read and what I've learned, but I think John really covered my life studies. So I'm just going to say from my personal experience, communication, more communication, light-hearted communication, loving communication, open communication, heartfelt communication, whatever type of communication that you can have, go with it, explore it, go deep with it. And then that appreciation will be an appreciation of your partner. Because I see my wife as a queen, and I'm blown away by her zeal for life and her energy and her leadership skills that are just emerging more and more. So yes, I'm very proud of her and very happy with our relationship. And I know that the root of it is our spirituality, because we're very God-focused. And our ministry, we have a ministry where we have devoted our life to serving our brothers and sisters. So we apply something we call the 3 F's, which is we meet a lot of people because of our music and they become fans. And we tell them once we become fans, then we become friends. And once we become more connected, we become spiritual family. So those are the 3 F's, and the foundation of the 3 F's is friendship. So in our relationship, friendship is the key. You know, being married is secondary. If we're not friends, the marriage won't work. So let's start with a friendship and grow it from there, growing spiritually together, honoring each other and respecting each other.
Yeah. And basically, you know, compromise, cooperation, you know, so I always tell people, it's like, you're not going to find a better, the grasses are going to be greener on the other side always, you know. So if you're not able to make compromises within your relationship, then you're going to have problems all the time, you know. So it can never just always be my way, and it can never be only his way, except for when it comes to house cleaning. And that's that's his responsibility.
Yes, master.
You know, other than that, you know, compromise a lot of different stuff, you know, and there's certain things, there's certain bad habits I don't give up, and he's tried to get me to, and, you know, thankfully it's because he's so, he's very easy and overstanding, you know, so I like that terminology. A lot of Jamaicans use that, overstanding. It's not understanding. He's just growing a deeper appreciation for overstanding, you know, who I really am, and allowing me to be myself. And I think, and Putz and I came together late in life, you know, so after he already had his running around, and I met all of his baby mamas and his ex-wife, you know, all at the same place. It's amazing relationships that they all still continue to have together, you know, which is really good that you can still have a friendship with your exes, you know, even though the children are grown, that it's a beautiful thing. So I look at past relationships as stepping stones into the perfect relationship that you actually want, because each one, so I never regret any of my exes. They all taught me something, you know, and brought something to the table that made me appreciate what I wanted.
Hold on. Mm-hmm. How come my past is running around and your past is my exes?
That's the
You see how she tells the story?
Well, I have one child and you have 11.
I have 11 children.
11 children.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was busy. He started young too. You know, he started very young and got busy and got it out the way and everything. So, and they're amazing. You know, his children are really like my friends. You know, his daughters are more like my girlfriends, and I can't stand like my daughter and stuff. So that's pretty amazing.
Wow. Well, that's powerful. You know, we had so much back and forth. I am not clear if you decided that you were going to do a duet tonight or have us play a video. So maybe I'll let you kind of talk about that amongst yourselves. Text me and let me know if you want me to do a video. Send me the video so I have time to turn it into an MP4. And if you decided you're going to do a duet, that would be awesome.
Well, based on our conversation, you made it very obvious to me, Scott, that you wanted us to do a live performance. That was very obvious.
Well, kind of.
So we are ready for anything you want.
Oh, fantastic. Do you guys need a minute to get
No,
set up?
we are here to be of service.
Oh my God. Well, what a blessing. We get to hear Pato and Antoinette.
We are ready for you, Scott.
All right.
So the song we're going to do is called Love is the Greatest. Love is the greatest thing in the world, okay?
Fantastic.
Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So Antoinette's going to start playing.
I just feel like we are so blessed. Here they are in their own living room, and we're about to have this amazing, beautiful, spontaneous song. Straight from the living room, Pato and Antoinette.
All right. So I'm just going to move the camera here so you can see Antoinette.
Great.
So I'm going to let Antoinette start you off, okay? Is that okay?
Beautiful.
All right. So I want everybody please to give me a peace sign. And we want to say peace and love. I think I'm going to sit down to start. So many problems in this world that we're living in. So many people feel like giving in. Life is a struggle, but we keep on juggling. Poor man hustling, money man bustling. Yes, we're moving at a fast pace, but I don't want to be in a no rat race. Cause there's more to life than material things. Everyone count your blessings, and we got to give thanks and praise as we look forward to brighter days. Cause I know with a little faith, everything is gonna be okay. I believe that love, oh love, sweet love, is the greatest thing. Love, oh love, sweet love, is It's the greatest thing again, love. Oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing in the world. Huh. Now I know it might sound quite delirious, but I believe this is the age of Aquarius. And I know it might sound quite precarious, still I believe this is the age of Aquarius. I can hear the call, I can see the signs, I can feel your love, I can sense the vibes in my heart and soul, in my conscious mind. I know it's revelation time, time for more justice, more equal rights, more peace and love, more truth and light. A time to rise to higher heights, closer to light and life. You see, true love is truly contagious, gentle, kind, meek, mild, and courageous. To spread love is so advantageous. Tag your it, now spread the virus of love. Oh, love, sweet love. It's your turn, come on. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing again, love. Oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing in the world. Can you take it to the bridge? You can have the gift of prophecy and understand the secret mysteries. Have enough faith to part the deepest sea. But if you ain't got love, you got nothing. Love is the key to eternity. Love is the truth that will set you free. Love is a gift from the Almighty. I believe, yes, I believe that love, oh, love, sweet love, is the greatest thing. Love, oh, love, sweet love, is the greatest thing again. Love, oh, love, sweet love, it's the greatest thing in the world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mix me down, mix me. Well, as a student of the Universal University, I believe there can be harmony within diversity, unity within a multiracial community, a society providing equal opportunity. Some may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm a believer, transmitter, receiver, a truth revealer, spreading the words of my master teacher. All over the world we are gonna reach you. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's a great, your turn. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing again. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing in the world. You go earthwalk, you go earthwalk. Acoustic. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing again. Love, oh, love, sweet love. It's the greatest thing. Divine masculine, divine feminine, just divine. It's the greatest thing in the world. Thank you. Namaste. Namaste.
Everybody, let's twinkle them. I've got it on gallery view so everybody can see us. Thank you so much for just one of the most magical moments we've had on this show. Absolutely pure magic. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Wow. Wow. Oh, I'm a little bit speechless. You know, there's something that I was going to say after John spoke, and then they brought it up again, so I just got to go there. We recognize and appreciate all faiths, all religions, all people, all genders, or people that are not gender specific, and it's all God experiencing itself. but I want to just say that you've heard from two very wise souls, men, talking about the value of monogamy. And as somebody that does a lot of coaching, I just want to say polyamory is a beautiful idea, but it usually leads to more polyagony than anything else. And the people I know that are in the happiest, most depth of relationship, most of them have chosen monogamy. And again, I'm not putting anything else down, but I just want to make sure we're really getting the wisdom from John and the wisdom from Pato, two very semi-enlightened men. I think all of us maybe achieve semi-enlightenment. And that's an important message. So I really wanted to riff on that. So again, thank you, John, for your wisdom. And thank you, Pacho, for being willing not only to do a duet, but one that just is, oh my God, that was just really, really beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing us into love. All right. You know, for those of you watching on Facebook through Unify or other broadcast partners, there's still time for you to come on into our Zoom room. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. And it's really nice having people in the Zoom room with us. Then we can chat a little bit more easily with you. And at the end of our show, you can come on. And I know this is one of those shows, people are going to want to come on and share their inspirations, share what took place with them. So really, if you still want to come into our Zoom room, just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And speaking of those of you seeing us, I want to take a minute right now to acknowledge our broadcast partners. And we're very blessed to have several broadcast partners. Unify now carries us every Saturday night. And certainly the majority of people who watch us on Facebook now are watching on Unify. So thank you. And it's been really fun because people on Unify, they watch either live or the replay, and it's people all over the world. So wherever you are, whether you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, thank you. And it's great to have you on board. We also want to thank the Disclosure Fest Foundation and Portal to Ascension. They collaborate a lot. We had them on our show last week. And right now, this weekend, there's an amazing event going on. Portal to Ascension is having their big conference, so definitely check that out. Light Touch. You're going to see a little bit more of Jay Mayer and another video from Light Touch. Light Touch has been such a wonderful partner for us, so thank you. We want to thank our friends at Earth Dance Global and Awake TV Network, a wonderful new TV network. I really want to thank John and Summer Raymer from the Sign Network. They have been signing our shows out. Last night, they put a sign wave out for my show, Straight Talk, where we were dealing with recovery and addiction. And there was 75 shares, 75 different groups, Facebook pages, all through the Sign Network. And I know they're doing that again for us tonight. I haven't checked the numbers yet, but I'm grateful. And then our friend, Alan Steinfeld with New Realities TV. Alan, we love you. I know you worked all day on Portal to Ascension and the big conference you guys are doing together. And then finally, again, my company, Love Coach Academy. And a reminder that if you go to lovecoachacademy.com, you can fill out a short little survey, and that'll get you in line where we'll know which love coach to connect you with for a free discovery session to provide support for you. So we're all coming together to find ways to provide support for each other. And speaking of which, you know, we just heard from Pacho and Antoinette, and I forgot to go to the website. And so you can go to patobanton.com and learn more about them, patobanton.com, or go to YouTube. They've got some great YouTube videos. We showed, for the Zoom room, as people were coming in, we showed their wedding video. And it's again, a wonderful reggae song with all the images from their wedding, including seeing their vows. And right in the peak of these beautiful vows, Pacho reminds her, as he's putting the ring on, he says, "And as I give you this very expensive ring," and they both just laughed. Yeah, I caught that one. We definitely caught that, Pacho. Like John said, right? the man wants to be appreciated, right, John? We want to be apprecited. A very expensive ring, he wanted to be appreciated.
Not that women also want to be appreciated. It's just that for men, when you appreciate them, it boosts their testosterone, helps them feel their heart love again. So we all need to appreciate each other, but we understand hormones. That's what triggers the best hormone in men.
Yes, absolutely. I think I have a feeling, John, you got a lot of appreciation from your wife while she was with you, and probably still now in her own way. And Pacho, I have imagined you're getting a lot of wonderful appreciation also. And you know, that's really a lesson for us all. And it doesn't have to just be in our romantic partnerships. Appreciation is the compost that makes all relationship gardens grow much more beautifully. So let's all remember lots of appreciation. And I want to appreciate my partner who makes this show happen. She is extraordinary in what she does to grow this show. And it's my pleasure to turn it back over to Deborah Juster.
Thank you, Scott. And I appreciate you so much as well. And I appreciate our donors. Not only all the donations for GoFundMe, which is amazing. We're going to be able to send a lot of money out and keep that coming in. Even if it's just a small amount, the power of community is that if everyone gives a little bit, we have a lot to give back. And I also want to thank the donors when you register that you're donating money to this broadcast. That is really helpful for us to give a very high quality broadcast to you. And because you've been generous and because of the generosity of our sponsors, we are giving all money back from the GoFundMe to the people that are in need and the organizations. And that is really wonderful. So from now on, all money goes to the organizations and the people in need. And because of all your donations, Scott, I, and another team member, Chiraya Dharma, have created a new season for you of 13 new shows. And this is the first show of our fall season, October, November, December. Next week, we have an incredible show, Quantum Healing, Creating Everyday Miracles. We're going to have Deepak Chopra, Mas Sajati, an amazing spiritual healer, Shiva Ray, very top yoga teacher, Kimberly Meredith, who's a fifth dimensional healer, Ajaya Summers, and incredible music by Eostar Matthias Madhu, and Jay Mayer, who is the sponsor of the show and actually helped produce it. He is the one that came up with the idea and inspired it. He's going to bless us with his music next week. So that's going to be really great. And then we've got incredible shows coming on October 17th. It's going to be another level of empowering the divine feminine. Not so much just acknowledging her here, because we know she's here. She's here and kicking. She is taking over in terms of allowing the feminine to come through and really shift this new world. And so we're really going to focus on that. The next show, October 24th, Reality Creation and New Earth Manifesting, which is really part of this new world, being able to know how to manifest. We're going to talk with some of the top teachers, including Bruce Lipton. And then October 31st is a Saturday. So we're going to celebrate big time with a lot of fun and surprises, All Hallows Eve and Sacred Samhain. And then November 7th, we are preparing for post-election recovery. So whatever is going to be happening there, we are going to honor it and empower it for the good. November 14th, we're bringing back what was a really popular show in August, Honoring Wisdom and the Indigenous. November 21st, Building Islands of Coherence with Global Coherence Pulse. November 28th, we're really going to honor community and the family. And we're going to have a show about creating community in terms of also living in community and creating community in your world. December 5th is going to be Secret Ancient History. December 12th, we're going to dive back into Relationship Mastery. September 19th, we are going to be celebrating very powerfully Winter Solstice Activation. And December 26th, we are going to do a review of all the special shows that we've had throughout the year. We started in April and give all the special moments of Saturday Night Alive. So that's what we have planned for you because of your generous donations. Thank you so much. Keep them coming. And now we're going to go to our GoFundMe again and share with you another story about a fire victim that happened.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deborah. And again, thank you everybody who's donating so generously. And let's keep those coming in. And I'm going to bring up this montage. We're going to meet Mahara Renee, who had everything in storage, and her storage unit burned down in the Talent, Oregon fire. And as we look at these images, let's just take a minute to really recognize this is happening right now as we're speaking, as we're enjoying the music and the inspirational speaking. Fire is happening. And I want us to just take a moment and ask for maximum grace for the firefighters. Thousands and thousands of men and women that are on the front lines every day. Incredible heat, incredible smoke to try and save homes and land and buildings. So maximum grace for the firefighters. Maximum grace. God bless them all. I want to introduce you to Mahara Renee. I actually met Mahara many years ago, and we came back into contact this week when I learned about her loss in the fire. And Mahara, thank you for being on our show tonight. And I know our show's been running late because we started late, but thank you for staying with us. And is there anything you'd like to share about what you've experienced? Anything you'd like for our viewers to know?
Well, first off, I just want to thank you for this show. It's so nice to have some lightness and some brightness in all that's going on. This has been really delightful. I've had lots of emotions come up. I've had tears come up and lots of laughter and little pops, which has been really nice. So thank you, Scott. And Scott did come to our community in Ashland years ago, brought the Oneness Blessing, and it really kind of changed my life that night. That was a real, very, very special weekend. And I do recognize Earth Star and Richard from my community from many years ago in San Rafael and, in Ashland. And Tristan, I'm so sorry for your loss. I have family in Santa Rosa. I have two brothers there. And one thing I've realized in this is that this affects everybody. My mom lives in Mexico, and I was in my meditation the other morning, and I realized that my mom's going through a fire because she's got 3 kids out here, and she's just so freaked out. And I keep telling her, stop watching the news, take your rescue remedy, Mom, I'm also staying with a sister here that I'm in Corvallis right now. I had to flee Ashland, and I'm in Corvallis with a sister who went through the Paradise Fire. And I actually left Chico because of the Paradise Fire. I got in my car and drove away that day and came to Ashland. So even though I didn't lose things that day, I lost my work. I lost what was going on, a community, which is still there, and they're going through it too. It's just it's been intense. And, my storage unit, I was actually living in a temporary house for through the summer, looking for a place to live in Santa Rosa and Ashland, and couldn't find a place. And what's so interesting is that some of those places that I didn't move into, and my angst at why can't I find a house and all these kind of things, lo and behold, those places aren't standing anymore. And I've come to recognize and really appreciate that the divine has been guiding me, because I was going to go to Santa Rosa and be with some friends, and I was going to go and be in Chico, and they are just having still so many fires and smoke in Mount Shasta. And I came up here to Corvallis, and 2 days ago I opened the window and it's like, oh my God, there's smoke. And it turned out to be fog. I opened the door and I went, that's not smoke, that's fog. So that was really nice to have some fog. I'm really enjoying the coolness. So, I lost my massage table. I lost all these art supplies and fabric from other parts of the world, and sacred items from India and Bali and South Korea, different places where I've taught English. And I've been deeply involved in the oneness movement for a long time. I'm out of India, just got trained, just finished my training yesterday as an Ekomitra with Shoshana, who's, I know she's on here watching. And that's been a real blessing. One thing I'm learning is like, this is all about all these tools. So many of us have gathered so many tools through the years, and we're really being called to use those tools right now. And to really be in present time. I am so grateful for my tools that I have accumulated over my lifetime, because they are keeping me here. And I'm so grateful for my friends in my community. And I went on Facebook and you know, I just woke up one morning. I was in so much, because I was really doing good. I was feeling really grounded, and I woke up one morning and I was really in angst. So I started posting on Facebook, and I don't do that. I don't get real personal and transparent on Facebook. And I just went, blah, you know, and I had people from all over the world that reached out to me, and it was like, wow, I really do have tribe, and I really do have community. And that's been, you know, so beautiful. So thank you to everybody. Yeah. Thank you so much, Scott. I love what you're doing.
I love what I'm doing too.
You're awesome.
I feel very blessed. Deborah and I feel very blessed to be doing this. I'm really thanking our team that grows. Thank you, Sharia, and all the people.
Everybody, I recognize Deborah from, I went, wow, I recognize her. This is from Health and Harmony Fair. Yeah, a long time ago.
You know, I want to also just spotlight for a moment. We heard from them a little bit earlier, but Earthstar and Richard, who lost their entire home. And again, these are the families you're going to be supporting. All the money that comes in through the GoFundMe will be split evenly between Earthstar and Richard and Mahara, who we just heard speak from, and Tristan and her family. And Tristan and her family just lost their home on Monday in the glass fire in Santa Rosa. And so, you know, these are our tribe. This is our community. It's their time now to receive. It's their time now to receive our love, our support, definitely our prayers, but also our green energy to really donate. And again, you just go to GoFundMe, put in Global Peace Tribe, and Deborah's also been putting the link on, and we really thank you. Thank you everybody for your donations. And thank you to Mahara, Earthstar, Richard, Tristan, for being on our show. I hope you'll stick around. I know that you need to have dinner, so afterwards, during a community connection time, if you want to say anything more, we'll have time for you to share more if you wish. So thank you for being with us. You know, speaking of community, Deborah and I have decided to start another section of our show because what's happening is more and more people that used to do festivals and live events, of course, are needing to do what we've done, go digital and create more and more of these amazing virtual conferences. Right now, the Portal to Ascension conference that's happening this weekend, I have done a couple of interviews today. I interviewed Meg Benedicte yesterday, Elizabeth April. Deborah led the Ascension panel yesterday. So there's a lot of amazing events going on. And so tonight, we're highlighting an event that's going to be taking place next weekend, which we're going to be a part of. And it's the Whole Earth Series, the Whole Earth Series. So I'm going to play a little video. It's short to introduce this, and then we're going to meet the founder and creator of this new festival that's going to be happening next week.
Welcome to the Whole Person Activation Series, Building Bridges Beyond Barriers. A day of celebration,
ceremony,
yoga,
expansion,
keynotes and panel discussions,
breakout groups,
self-love,
movement,
global eternal flame ceremony,
prayer,
empowerment,
connection,
meditation,
music,
performance,
family,
support,
activation,
and so much more. For tickets and updates, visit Earthwalk presents Whole Person Activation Series, Building Bridges Beyond Barriers, starting October 10th, 2020. For tickets and updates, visit. Welcome to the Whole Person Activation.
Hey, we almost did a little double take here. So yeah, this is a very exciting new festival. It's happening all next weekend. And I'm going to briefly introduce the man who's making this all happen. I didn't know what to call him. I said, should I call you like the benevolent dictator or the grand emperor? Welcome. I'm glad to have you and your beloved with us.
No, this is actually, I'll explain in a moment why Mackenzie's here, but yeah, a friend.
So tell us a little bit briefly now, and then during our community connections, we're going to come back and hear a lot more from you. But tell us a little bit about what's going to be happening next weekend and how people can get involved.
Yeah, in a week from today, on 10/10/2020, we are having a day-long whole person activation. It is the first of a 3-part launch series to launch our whole person community and academy around the world. In essence, all of our programs are focused on how do we create whole human beings in the direction towards living in a whole planet, whole society. As you saw from the video, we're going to be having everything from music to art to breakout rooms, conscious connection, really modeling what does a whole person experience look like? What does it mean to create a space of peace with oneself, with each other, and the world? And a really quick segue, part of why I have Mackenzie on here is she's actually going to be one of our presenters. And I thought it was perfect because with the topic of tonight being about the harmonization between the masculine and feminine, Mackenzie is the founder of a Me3 movement out in Santa Cruz, California. And ironically, I had also founded a separate Me3 movement, which was basically about encircling a trauma with love for all parties involved, dealing with sexual trauma. So moving the Me Too movement to the next stage. And so I thought it was appropriate. They actually just arrived at our home today, and it just felt like it was with the focus of topic that you're here. I thought it would be fun to share. One of our panelists is here. Pato and Antoinette will be sharing their music as well. And yeah, thank you for having us.
Fantastic. Well, we'll look forward to hearing from Sadiq and Mackenzie during our community connection time, which comes up soon. So everybody, please stick around for that. And again, a reminder that we'll hear from Sadiq and Mackenzie. We might hear from Jay Mayer. And then we open it up to all of you. Any of you who want to come on and share how you've been inspired, we look forward to hearing from you. And that's during our community connection time coming up a little bit later. All right, we're about to go to our next presenter. And thank you everybody for sticking around. We're running a little bit late. We got up to a late start because of the Facebook tech. And so thank you everybody for your patience. This is Ariel Brown. And I've heard so much about her for a long time. She's an expert in intimacy and gender dynamics with a focus on embodied intelligence and transparent communication skills. Through her private coaching, online courses, public speaking, and group facilitation, Ariel has cultivated a large body of work addressing the increasing need for evolutionary approaches to intimacy, connection, and collaboration that facilitate power with as opposed to power over. These new models of relating in our individual relationships and our group dynamics. She's a very wise woman and we're blessed to have her with us. Take it away, Ariel.
It's such a pleasure to be here, Scott. Thank you for having me. And I feel so grateful that I've been able to receive and glean the bits of wisdom from everyone who have shared up until this point. The harmonic relationship between the masculine and the feminine, not only externally, not only within our relationships with others, but to me, most importantly, the harmonic relationship with the masculine and feminine polarities that exist within is the most important relationship that we can cultivate if we have a desire to have easeful, fluid, nutrient-rich connections with easeful giving and receiving, and experiencing wholeness in our lives. You know, to me, I look at everything in life as an experience of giving and receiving, of giving energy and sharing energy, of penetrating a person with our consciousness, our ideas, our emotions, our truths, our desires, and yes, the experience of sexual penetration as well, which in its highest, most exalted form is such a gorgeous expression of creation. It's the spark of divinity, and we get to create it in every aspect of our lives. The challenge is, what I see is that so many of us have experienced wounding at the point of penetration, wounding at the point where giving and receiving occurs, when a perspective or an idea or a desire or an agenda is placed into our energetic field or is placed inside of our body without being fully connected to our felt sense yes, to our discernment, to do I feel in alignment with receiving this into my life? And this is regardless of gender, because we all have those experiences of masculine and feminine energy giving and receiving within us. So my desire in this moment is to speak in particular to the experience of women. I am a woman, I identify as a woman, and I know the largest healing that I have had to do in relationship to the masculine and feminine polarity that exists within me is heal the part of me that has an intense distrust of the masculine and simultaneously a desire to be saved by it, and the friction of those two things. I had a moment several years ago during a medicine journey on New Year's where there was this pinnacle point in the trip where I was on a couch, curled up in the fetal position, realizing that on a deep level, all of my relationships with men, especially romantic and sexual relationships, had been built upon a desire to, on some level, be saved by a man. And there was this moment of realization within me where I realized I was, on some level, attempting to source my safety externally, that I was looking for external masculine forces to create safety within my body, that I was relying upon men to be solid, grounded, connected to the truth in every moment, because there was a piece of me that didn't fully trust the wisdom within my own heart. And so much of the healing and so much of the work that I facilitate with women is looking at where we have disowned the masculine that exists within us because of a distrust of its power. And here's the gorgeous piece here, is that the feminine is rising. The feminine seeks to embody and express its ancient feminine wisdom into the world. But in order to be grounded vessels for divinity to flow through us in that way, it is essential that we as women are in right aligned relationship with our internal masculine energy, the one within us that is in service to our protection, in service to our opening, in service to our embodiment, meaning that regardless of whether or not a person receives us well, or whether a person rejects us, their response to our truth cannot break us. because we know that deep within our internal masculine is holding and caring for us. And this is a deep need that us as women are being called to, and cultivating a healthy relationship with this internal masculine. Because our men need to be able to soften into their feminine. Our men are in a place where they are so needing to be able to soften into their hearts, soften into their vulnerability, soften into their sensitivity, which is so much of what we as women are longing to feel, right? Feel men attuning to us, connecting with us in intimacy and connection, in sexuality. So the way that we can help our brothers in feeling that they can soften into their feminine is giving them permission to not always need to be in the role of the solid, grounded masculine, because we have the capacity to source that masculine strength from within. And when we, as all human beings, regardless of gender, are able to be in that right aligned relationship with masculine and feminine energy, where we don't need to suppress or to clamp down or stay restricted in one polarity because that's where our comfort and illusory safety is. This is where we create a space where we can truly be allies for each other's healing and simultaneously open up to greater levels of purpose and pleasure and embodiment than I believe most of us can currently imagine. It's a pleasure to be able to share this space with you, and thank you for receiving.
Thank you very, very much, Ariel. It's beautiful to have you in our show, and I'm actually going to show a couple of things. This is her website, and as I was listening to you speak, I just really can see, like really all of our presenters tonight, how you are embodying your truth, and that you bring to your coaching, to your teaching, your own personal experience. So I want to encourage everyone to go to Ariel Brown. It's ARIELLE, ARIELLE Brown.com. And I also, had noticed you had sent us a little bit earlier, and I do want to ask you just to tell us a little bit about this course that you're teaching on sovereignty.
Yes. So it's a course that's actually open for enrollment right now, and it's an initiatory container for women who have a desire to more fully embody their truth, the spiritual and erotic energy that can flow through us into our lives, into our relationships, into our sex, through how we harmonize the masculine and feminine polarities within. So much of what this container is going to be about is looking at the distortions that we have in our body, rooted in fear or distrust of the masculine, or fear and distrust of our own feminine energy, that impact our ability to see the world clearly and positively influence how our life unfolds, how our relationship unfolds. So this container is for women to release the distortions of fear, shame, self-abandonment around desire, around truth, around erotic expression, so that we can more deeply anchor into the truth of who we are and bring our medicine into the world, whether that's in our intimate relationships, whether that's in our work, and to move from a place of surviving into a place of thriving, because we know that's our birthright.
Beautiful. John and Paul and I have been teaching for a long time, and it's wonderful to see the next generation coming up, Ariel. And I feel like you definitely are a beautiful example of the next generation of wise teachers. So thank you so much. And we hope you'll come back onto our show again soon.
I would love that. Thank you.
So, in this show, we always have a meditation. And usually we do the meditation earlier in the show, kind of to draw people in. But because we had such amazing music with Nina Gray and Indubious, and so many powerful speakers that we knew would draw people in, Deborah and I decided to do something a little bit different, and to actually have the meditation part of the show towards the end of the show, and for Deborah and I to do it together. So instead of it just being one of us doing it, we're going to kind of do a little bit of a back and a forth. And Deborah and I kind of represent another wonderful form of partnership. We've known each other for 30 years. We've been friends. We were kind of acquaintances and then friends. I always was doing something at the Harmony Festival. Then we became collaborators. And although we've never had a romantic relationship, she's definitely my primary partner in my life right now. We're on the phone with each other every day for at least an hour, going over all the things that need to happen for Saturday Night Alive. And there's just a really beautiful mutual respect. And I want to take a moment to embody my masculine side, appreciating Deborah. And as I look at you, Deborah, I want to just drop into how I appreciate your balance. Deborah gets up early every morning and meditates and really does, to me, the divine feminine within any of us is when we really take time for God, time for higher spirits, whatever you want to call it. Take time to connect to higher source, which Deborah does every morning, very, very early. And then she takes her meditation and her inspiration and she gets to work. And that's where her divine masculine comes in, and she puts together the agenda and goes through the emails and figures out what needs to be done. And all of this is usually happening at 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And then when I wake up, my dog starts licking my face at, sunrise, and I reach over for my phone. She's already got all the downloads from her divine feminine and all the things that we need to do in her divine masculine. So I want to just start by acknowledging and appreciating your balance and how you really do that so beautifully, Deborah. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. And yeah, we've known each other for 30 years. And what I love is that we recognize the divine mission, soul contrast, and we immediately acted on it, and we dove right into it and became like mother and father of this incredible creation here. And we actually joke about that, and we use that analogy that the Saturday Night Alive is our baby. Because we started talking about that's growing and having its own reality, and we're stewarding it. And that you're really committed to this baby as much as I am. And that was, which is so incredible in balanced divine masculine and feminine partnership, is there's that commitment that's true for each one, that's down to the bottom line. And we both share that. And I appreciate that so much about you. And I also appreciate that you really live your divine masculine in handling the tech. It's not an easy job to juggle everything and make sure it happens, especially tonight. Yeah. But I am safe in my feminine that I know that you're going to handle it and you're going to come through, and I don't have to worry about it. You are going to come through, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate that you live your feminine, that you really tune in. When we're creating, you're accessing your intuition, and the downloads come for you as well. And so it's a combined, balanced relationship where I can trust for you to access your feminine. And it's not just left to me, but you are accessing your feminine. And you're not afraid of a strong feminine working with you. You actually appreciate that. And that's another thing about a healed masculine. They can allow the feminine to be strong and blossom and really take charge and really guide from her intuition and what she sees coming through her. And what I also love is you've done your personal work. You've really studied communication. You're a master at that. So just in everyone who's doing major manifestations, especially at this level, there's going to be some things where there's some miscommunications. But instead of taking them seriously, we will pause and stop, and we will clarify those miscommunications and see where we weren't understanding each other, which is normally what's going on. Because at the bottom line, because of our divine mission alignment, we're really on the same page, which is really beautiful. So thank you for who you are. Thank you for joining me in this adventure and for all the work you've done on yourself and how you show up. And I love you very much.
To Deborah, thank you. And again, we're doing this because we want to demonstrate how we're experiencing the dance between the divine masculine and feminine within each of us, and this beautiful baby that has given birth. And sometimes divine partnerships are not about romance or sexual connection, but about giving birth in creative expression. And so, again, I'm honored to be able to share this with you. For our meditation, we want to just invite everybody now to kind of maybe slow down, drop in, and go into appreciation. How does the divine feminine support you? One wonderful way I always like to remember is Mother Earth. I love to imagine and really drop into, for me, the reality that this is a living being, that this planet is alive, that Gaia is real, she's alive, and I'm one of her 8 billion children, and that she's always holding me. It's called gravity. We're always being held by our true divine mother, Mother Earth, Gaia. So I appreciate that. I appreciate all that she gives me, the food, the water, this body temple that's making thousands of decisions every hour to create life and to sustain me, and so that I can thrive. And I also want to just invite all of us to think of your own appreciation for how the divine feminine supports you, whether it's Mother Earth or the women in your life, your own human mother, human sisters, or your own divine feminine within yourself. Let's have 30 seconds of silence to appreciate how the divine feminine supports us.
And I'd like to honor the divine masculine, that force where I feel protected. I feel safe, and I feel held as well, but in a way that as a feminine, I can flower. I can open up, and I can know I can be my beautiful, brilliant, amazing self, because the masculine force is protecting me, holding me, and creating. And this masculine force can build things and make things happen and evolve, help evolve things forward. And I appreciate that masculine force. And the masculine force fixes things and makes a lot happen so the feminine can blossom and be united in balance. And it's a give and a flow back and forth within each person and within myself.
And
Take a moment and honor the divine masculine.
And finally, bringing them together, bringing that divine feminine and divine masculine inside of us and in our external world through the unification. How can we envision, honor, empower the unification of the divine masculine and the divine feminine?
And this is really what we're calling forth in this new world we're creating now. During this cosmic reset, during this time where we get to recreate a whole new reality that we know has been coming in and we have the power to do now. So we set this forth here and now as a principle of love and healing, balance, of masculine and feminine in our new world.
And so we're going to play a video created by Jay Mayer called Perfect Love. And I invite everybody, as you watch this video, to tune in. What does perfect love mean to you? How can we all attract perfect love, whether it's romantic or professional partnerships or a greater connection with Mother Earth or Father Sky? I invite us all, as we watch this beautiful video, to bring more love into our lives. So I want to thank Jay Mayer for creating that beautiful light touch video. There's Jay. So thank you, Jay. And again, light touch is a wonderful way for us just to drop into appreciation for the angels, appreciation for these body temples. Thank you very much, Jay, for all that you bring to our world. And I think it's time for some magic. Deborah? Oh, you're muted.
Yes. And so, yes, we love our magic. We love our Tetro. So he's going to come back and give us another amazing performance. And I'd like to introduce Tetro.
Tetro, calling all Tetro. Well.
And Paul Sterling, I think possibly was next, though.
I might have messed up. The Divine Masculine just made a boo-boo. All right, well, this is one of my best friends. This is Paul Sterling. And I wanted Paul to kind of wrap up kind of the speaking presentations. He is someone who studies relationship unbelievably. I've known Paul for many, many years. We've collaborated, we've taught together, we've worked together, and he is dedicated to solving some of the mysteries of relationship. And so it's my pleasure, my honor to turn it over to my good friend, Paul Sterling.
Thank you, Scott. God, and I'm sitting here going, next time I'm not going to follow after John Gray, because I look behind him and he's got the 18 books there and I've written one. And you know what? It doesn't matter. It's like everybody here on this call is sharing from their heart and everybody's got a different piece. So I'm going to share. I was talking with my mother this morning and she said what I inherited from her is procrastination and what I inherited from my dad is perfectionism. So procrastination and perfectionism, a hell of a combination here. And Scott asked me to share a story that I haven't shared in 30 years. But I'll start at the beginning. Growing up in my household, my dad was the man's man. He was a carpenter, very machismo, but he was more of the dark masculine versus the divine masculine. And it wasn't safe for my mother in the house to have feelings. And I, as a little kid, I watched and I watched the feminine side of me get scared and oppressed. It wasn't safe to be in the feminine growing up in that household. And I watched the masculine, my older brother and my dad, and the damage that they did. And I didn't make friends with either side. And so I headed for Alaska and I became a commercial fisherman, which is basically the, outside of active military duty, about the deadliest thing you can do. And I wanted to prove to myself I was tough. So this is a story from my commercial fishing days, and I had convinced, we were going across the Gulf of Alaska, so 500 and some miles from Yakutat to Homer, Alaska, and I had convinced my ex-wife it would be a good idea and a fun trip for her to fly to Yakutat, meet us, and come across the Gulf. I don't know what I was thinking. It was my way of life, but we almost made it to the end. We almost made it into Kachemak Bay when we got hit by a huge storm. And so in that storm, I had to do two things. I had to protect her. So I got her up on the bridge and I got her safe there with a survival suit. And when the boat was rocking back and forth, I was the engineer. It was a 48-foot boat. And I had to go down into the engine room because when the boat shook back and forth, the water that had settled into the bottom of the fuel filter was starting to go into the engine. So the engine was starting to shut down. So if I didn't go down into the engine room and drain the water, what would happen is the water would shut down the engines and we would be smashed against the shores. And so I did that as a divine masculine to protect everybody. Like the most dangerous place to be on the boat in that moment is in the engine room because it's the hardest place to get out of. So I went there and I started to think about that in my conversation with Scott is like the divine masculine creates a safe space for the divine feminine to show up, whether it's the divine feminine in myself or the divine feminine in other places. And what I look at here is that what needs to show up is all those feelings and emotions that I'm afraid of. Those are what run my life. Those are what create the dark side. Those are what create the crazy behavior, the gang behavior, the drug behavior, the alcoholism. It's all of the feelings I don't want to feel and I'm afraid of feeling. And, you know, one of the goddesses of the world for me right now, and I've been binge watching Brene Brown and how she can be powerful and vulnerable and deal with shame and fear and embarrassment. And it's like, these are the things that are needed in relationships now, to come to terms with them so that we can create that open and honest communication with ourselves and with others and get the hormones we need that John was talking about, getting the rewards and the opening. And so if I was going to do, I actually have a whole PowerPoint presentation, but I'm not going to do it because No one else was doing their PowerPoint, so I'm not. But what I want to think about is 3 words for people when I'm working, and I've coached couples for over 25 years, and the person who got me originally on that path was Tony Robbins, and I was on his support team and then worked for him for a while. And I can think of my life before Tony and after Tony. And so coaching couples, I think about 3 key words: availability, capability, and willingness. Availability, it's like, if I'm a wounded soul and I haven't healed myself, I'm not very available. So if you think about in nutrition, when you take a vitamin, there's something called bioavailability. How much of that vitamin can I absorb? And if I put it in with the right combinations, I can increase bioavailability. And if I use it the wrong way, I'll poop out the vitamin and not even absorb any of it. So how available am I depends on how much of my wounds and triggers and my patterns have I healed. And then capability, after 25 years of studying this, I've come up with 7 core skills, but I don't even want to tell you what those core skills are, because there could be other skills. But I'm going to tell you what you want in capability. You want to be able to do 3 things. You want to be able to clear up the past, connect, and get present. And being present with one of the greatest aphrodisiacs you can have is being present with your partner, being fully present, being alive, being vulnerable, being open. And then that creates possibilities for the future. And part of the divorce rate that's going on is because some people haven't cleared up the past. So it gets in the present, and the possibility just looks like more of the same. So there's no possibility for the future. And then the last part, which is willingness. Are you willing to show up? And that's what I watch Petro and Antoinette, and I'm just so touched by their willingness to be there for each other, to be vulnerable, to make a stand. And John talking about his ongoing love affair with a wife that died 2 years ago. It's like, oh my God, it just touches my heart. So it's like looking at the willingness. And a lot of times what happens when it comes to the divine, to get to the divine from the dark, we have to look at our shadow. Because a lot of people, it's like, I want to have this amazing buff body, and I want to be able to do it without going to the gym. I don't want to have to work out or eat better. I want to be divine, like some of the speakers tonight, so divine, but they've done the work. And when you do the work, you become available. And when you study the skills that we've all been talking about, Scott's course on relationship essentials, John Gray, the other couple that was on there, increase your capabilities. If you want a remarkable relationship, you need remarkable relationship skills. And most people treat it like luck. I'm going to, if I just get the right person. So I'm going to end on this, which is, there are 2 ways of looking at relationships. One is the Disney world. It's like happily ever after. The hard work is to get to marry the person. And game over. Married, we're done. All the hard work's done. The rest, it's happily ever after. That's the reward. I would like that. That would be cool if that worked. I've never seen that work. The relationships I'm actually envious of, that I look up to, when they got together, it's more like a hero's journey. When they got together, the hard work started, but they found somebody worth going through the work with. And so that's what that's all about. And I love being there to help people. And I speak dude, 18 years commercial fisherman in Alaska, I can speak dude. And I can also speak about feelings and needs and compassion and heart, and help people create that connection and that bonding between the two. And, when I studied with Marshall Rosenberg, that's how come I wrote the book, Argue Less, Love More. I saw the patterns. There's 5 main patterns that trigger each other. So it's like how to avoid these patterns so that you can keep this connection between each other. And I so love the work that Scott does. And, you know, if I get stuck, I talk to Scott and what Deborah's put together. And I now have some more mentors to talk to here. So thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Paul. And I apologize, I didn't do the proper introduction of Paul because I got confused on the agenda. But you can learn a lot more about Paul by going to magicrelationship.com. That's his website, Magic Relationship.
Wait, sorry. Go to arguelesslovemore.net. Sorry, Scott.
Okay.
I've updated my whole site based on the book,
Okay,
arguelesslovemore.net.
All right, so I'm
Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to stop the screen share real quickly then. Whoa, no, wrong one. So, you know what we're going to do is I'm going to pull up arguelesslovemore.net. Yeah.
Thank you, Scott.
Absolutely. It's going to take me a moment to do that.
And while you're doing that, I want to thank also Nina, that song about the apology and the courage. It brought tears to my eyes. It touched me. There were so many key moments in here. I'd spend the whole time thanking people, but wow, your music really touched me.
All right. I was going to actually try and find Nina while you said that. And here we go. Here's Paul's website. All right. And what's great is if you go there, you can take a little survey that Paul's created, and he's going to get the information he needs. And then what happens after the survey, Paul? What are you providing?
Well, if they're interested, we can spend about 15 to 30 minutes in a complimentary call and find out whether we would work together well. You get clear where you are, where you want to go, what are the roadblocks, what are getting in the way of you having the love you want. And if it's a fit, great, we'll figure out a way to work together. And I do it over Zoom with clients all around the world. And if we're not a fit, I'll point them in a direction to something that might work for them.
Great. Well, thank you, Paul, for being with us. Pato is applauding. You're getting Pato's applause. You're getting Jan's applause. So there you go. Thank you very much, Paul. We love you. And Paul is a remarkable coach. Highly recommended. Before we go to Tetro, I want to just acknowledge the donations that have continued to come in. And I just saw while Paul was talking that Jay Mayer has donated $1,250 on behalf of Light Touch. So I just want us to all take a moment and thank Jay for his amazing generosity, this support that's going to go to our families, everything raised tonight. And we've raised more money tonight than we ever have in any single night before. So it's a new level. And so that's pretty exciting. And it's all going to go to these families. It's going to go to Mahara, who I see is here. There's Mahara. It's going to go to our other families here. It's going to go to Tristan and her family. There she is making a heart. So I think Richard and Scott are having dinner right now. But thank you, everybody. And I do want to read the people that have donated. Loretta, I should probably put the spotlight so it's not on. Well, actually, I'm going to keep the spotlight on you, Tristan, if you don't mind. I'm going to put the spotlight on you while I read the people that have donated. So the people that have donated since I last spoke about this are Loretta, Cherie, my buddy Chris Toussaint, Peter Van Tassel, Alan Lundell, who does a lot of our video work, Jan Kaplan, thank you, Jan. That anonymous, but actually it's Jay Mayer. Another anonymous, Amy, more anonymous, Jane Gitter, Kim Fay, Eli Miller, Ryan, Marlene Foster. Hey, Paul Sterling donated. Thank you very much, Paul. And that's a very generous donation. Jacqueline Howard, Janet, and anonymous again. And then that brings us to actually John Gray and his very generous donation as well. So, what an amazing community we all are a part of. It's incredibly beautiful. And we continue. We continue with more shows, with more festivals, with more events, and coming together in these incredible times. And so now, hopefully, my timing is right. And I'm looking to see if Tetro is with us. He is. I see a thumb. Okay. Take it away, Deborah.
And we get to bring Tetro back. That was an amazing performance earlier, and he's hung in there with us, and he's going to give us another performance, a magician and illusionist who's performed over 10 years and has a lot to offer. We are looking forward to this, Tetro.
Hello, thank you, Deborah, and good evening, everyone else. You know, every day we're faced with important decisions, and I think it's helpful when we can trust our intuition. So I'd like to try a little experiment here where we test our intuition. So I'm going to need the help of someone from the audience. I'm going to go to gallery view here, and let's see. Tristan, would you help me with this? Okay, you can go ahead and unmute. Hello,
Okay.
Tristan.
Hello.
Okay, so I have 2 blue bags that should more or less look the same. And what I want you to do is to very clearly point to one of these 2.
To the left.
This, I'll point to the bag.
The
This
other
bag?
one. The other one. Mhm.
You want this bag here.
I want that one. Mhm.
Now, here's the important question. Do you want me to use this bag or get rid of this bag?
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. Okay. We will get rid of this bag.
Okay.
And there was nothing inside. But inside this bag, we have something much more serious. Broken glass.
Oh boy.
I am so glad that your intuition was on point tonight. A round of applause for Tristan and her intuition. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, I feel like I'm getting a little bit of deja vu right now. Like I've been here before. You know, I had a dream last night, and I was hanging out with all of you in person, and we were having a lot of fun, and I was doing some magic. In fact, I was doing a card trick. And in the dream, I fanned out a deck of cards, and someone from our group took a card and looked at it. Let's see if I can remember who it was. Oh, Nina. That does sound familiar. Hi, Nina. Will you join us with your mic?
Hi, sure.
Hi, Nina. I believe it was you in my dream. I had a deck of cards, and I fanned it. You took one card out, you looked at it, committed it to memory, then you drew a big X on the back with a permanent marker, turned it around, and put it back in the deck, so it was the only card reversed in the entire deck. It was so realistic. I did the same thing. I woke up in the middle of the night and I did the same thing with the deck of cards. This deck of cards, I even drew an X on it so I wouldn't forget. But alas, I did forget what the card was that we reversed. So I'm hoping maybe we have a little psychic connection here. Now, it probably wasn't something so obvious like the Ace of Spades or the King or Queen of Hearts, but it literally could have been any card. If we might have had the same dream, what card do you think you would have taken from the deck?
I think I would have taken the 8 of Hearts.
The 8 of Hearts. You know, that does sound familiar. Don't take your eye off the deck. There should be one card and only one card reversed in this entire deck. You said the 8 of Hearts?
Uh-huh.
And there is one card reversed. Only one in the entire deck. And it has that X on it, just like in the dream. You said the 8 of Hearts.
Yes, I did.
Thank you, Nina. A round of applause for Nina. Thank you so much for helping. And And it's been a real joy sharing my magic with you all and hearing all of your inspirational stories. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. You know, really, I go totally into how does he do that? It's remarkable. I want to let everybody know he and Nina did not set anything up before. They'd never met before today or just now. So that was real magic. And you can find out more about tetromagic.com. So definitely go to tetromagic.com. And thank you, Tetro. And I hope you'll come back again real soon.
Thank you, Scott.
All right, we are almost to the very end of kind of the planned show, but we do have our community connections time coming up. So if any of you out in the audience want to come on and share an inspiration, what really touched you tonight, please send me a message in the chat box. You might need to send it a couple times because I might miss it. I'm doing a lot here, but I'll keep an eye out. And then I'll promote you to panelist. And anybody watching on Facebook, you can still come into the Zoom room. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, register, boom, right away it'll give you the link and you can come on into our Zoom room. We're going to close the way we began, really. We began with a beautiful song by Nina Gray. And Nina has been willing to stay with us for many, many hours. And she's now going to kind of complete our official evening with a perfect song. And when she told me this choice, I was like, oh, can you please stay and make this our closing? And she agreed. So thank you, Nina.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Nina. Yay!
Oh, thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Well, this is a song you might know. It's been a civil rights anthem for many decades, many generations. And when Scott told me the topic of tonight's gathering, it felt apropos because I do think we will overcome every divide that may stand between masculine and feminine and races of all people to get to this human race. Because right now, Black lives still matter as well. Looking to get to the point where we're in a space of unity.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
Next verse is we'll walk hand in hand.
We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand. We'll walk hand in hand someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
We shall all be free.
We shall all be free. We shall all be free. We shall all be free someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
I like your dancing. All right, last verse. We shall all live in peace.
We shall live in peace. peace someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
Ooh. I'm going to go to gallery view, everybody, so just be aware the camera's going to be on you. Thank you so much, Nina Gray.
Oh, Nina!
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
Nice.
Look at this beautiful community of different colors. We had Satyan and Suzanne earlier tonight, and just different colors, different ages, different people all coming together. I just am so grateful for each and every one of you, this beautiful, great global tribe, and all of you watching, whether you're watching the video replay, whether you're watching on Facebook, whether you're in the Zoom room, we are community. We are the Global Peace Tribe. Thank you. Well, I'm going to conclude the official part of our show by turning it over to Deborah for her final thoughts, and then we'll go into community connections. And I got so caught up hearing the song, I haven't even looked at the chat box. So if you're wanting to come on to community connections, send me a message again, because I haven't been to the chat box yet. I was too busy singing to Nina's beautiful song. Deborah?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you to the presenters, the musicians, all the people that joined. Thank you to all the donations. Again, this is the largest donations that we've gotten for our GoFundMe recipients, and it's going to be so much fun sending out that green love to those 3 families. And every time at the end of the show, Scott and I are blown away at the love, at the wisdom, and at the connection that's generated here. So thank you all so much. And we're going to keep doing this, keep spinning the vortex of love, of positivity, and of this reset that we're all creating right now, this reset of the new world that we are creating as the true global peace tribe, all of us connected at the soul level. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. So we're going to hear, I know, from Sadiq and Mackenzie, who are going to tell us a little bit more about what they're creating. Jay, if you want to speak, please send me a message. And if anybody else, including our presenters, if any of our presenters or anybody else in the chat, in the Zoom room, want to come on, just let me know and I'll promote you to panelist. But I'm going to go to Sadiq and Mackenzie next. There you are. And Mackenzie, you got to come forward. You're kind of popping in and out of the planet there.
We're traveling through the cosmos.
Trying to make it work.
So tell us a little bit more about what you're up to.
Yeah, so Earthwalk as an organization is actually celebrating its 15-year anniversary this month. We're really excited about that. And we're gearing up for the next level of our programs. As mentioned before, we are launching a whole person academy and global community. And what we mean by that is it's one thing to learn and to get the information and knowledge and what have you. It's a whole other level to have a community of practice. And so we place the two side by side. So we are actually shifting into a space of embodiment. So we're not just getting the information, but then we're actually in community, locally, regionally, and globally, and in training with a community of practice. The core essence of what we focus on is healthy relating and wholesome living. And we sort of break that down into 3 major categories, and that's what we call whole person living, which is personal, social, and environmental. And we believe at Earthwalk, when we integrate those 3 arenas, that in fact is what creates a global culture of peace. So there anything else that you want to
I'm
add?
not sure I've really prepared anything, but my name is Kenzie. I'm really young. I'm only 18. And I have personally had situations of sexual violence, which is partially why I've started like Me3 and stuff like that, trying to just add more conversation that has to do with non-duality and including everyone in the conversation of harassment and putting an emphasis, especially on the non-duality world where we all can live together and love each other and hear from all perspectives how we can actually have a solution. Because the way I've been taught from when I was little was like, someone has done something to you and they're bad. And it's like, okay, but why did they do that to me? And that's the step that I want to take it. That's where I want to go. And I have a lot of enthusiasm to do that. And I feel really grateful to be here and see everyone speak.
Great. Well,
How often do you hear an 18-year-old talk about non-duality?
Well, thank you for being a representative of another generation. And thank you for your courage to speak out, and to be honest about what you've experienced and to lead and to point in a healthy direction. God bless you. And thank you both for what you're creating. And next week, please, during the day, go to their event. And then in the evening, they're going to kind of shift their attention to us. So we're supporting their event during the day. They're supporting our event in the evening. It's all together. It's all Global Peace Tribe coming together. So thank you both.
Yeah, and just a quick shout out, just so people know, we're going to have speakers like Lynn McTaggart doing a global intention experiment, Charles Eisenstein. We have about 40 to 50 different presenters, everything from music to dance and amazing. We have 12 different panels, and this is one presenter on a panel, and this one specifically is dealing with how to move from the Me Too era to a new era of Me3, encircling trauma for the victim, rescuer, and perpetrator. So how do we actually create a new paradigm of love for all?
Beautiful.
Thank you,
And
Paul.
Scott, they'll be broadcasting our show next week, which is going to be an incredible show. Quantum Healing, Creating Everyday Miracles with Deepak Chopra and Masa Jati, who's an amazing healer, with Shiva Ray, yoga teacher, Kimberly Meredith, who's a fifth dimensional teacher, Asia Summers, Eostar Matthias Madhu, and Jay Mayer is going to do a performance for us. And he's also sponsoring this event and inspired this event. So he's going to be playing the keyboards, which is he's an incredible keyboard player. So we're going to experience that. So that's going to be broadcast. We're all working together and supporting each other and collaborating back and forth, because that's what the game is now, is really working together, supporting each other in high level collaboration. So thank you, Sadiq.
Thank you, Sadiq. Thank you, Mackenzie. And I wanted, for a moment, I got so really touched by Nina's song, I kind of lost my hosting duties. And so I didn't spotlight her Instagram account, which is what I wanted to do after she performed. So you can remember, you can go online to Nina Gray, that's GRAE.com, or you can also find her on Instagram.com/Nina Gray, and then it's exp. So definitely follow her on Instagram, follow her by going to her website, and let's really support her through Patreon. Let's go to her Patreon program and support her in that way as well. And again, thank you, Nina, for just starting and ending our show with so much beautiful, divine, feminine inspiration. Just extraordinary. Thank you. I'm going to put the spotlight on Jay, who has sponsored tonight's show. He's sponsoring next week's show. He's the creator of Light Touch. And I have a feeling you might want to share a little bit about Light Touch, Jay.
Well, what a great show. And I want to thank you, Deborah and Scott and the team. You know, there's a team of people that are working very hard to make these shows the best, and they're getting better and better. So we thank you for Saturday Night Alive. So we've been having a lot of success with daily practice together, which is really open to anyone that would like more information about that. For instance, I was working with one lady and we're asking for paying accounts and, divine appointments, calendars full of people, divine appointments that want to connect with Light Touch and Love Coach Academy. So everyone's welcome. If you'd like to experience some of the power of that, why don't we take a moment to bless everyone here? Everyone prays, just send out your best blessing that everyone here, everyone watching, even their ancestors, if you like, will receive all the abundance that they need, and that all their projects will be successful, and that, spiritual wellness will take over in their lives. And we thank all the invisible forces that love these invocations. They love to be of service. And this is especially powerful for those of us who want everyone in our auras to be blessed. So then our lives really take on a new meaning. So we thank everyone for all your gifts. We ask the Spirit to use us and send us the right people that we're agreed to meet with on this earth. And even one divine appointment can change our lives forever. And I consider Scott Katamas a divine appointment. And all the people that I'm working with, the whole tribe of people, all these people, it's wonderful to have a tribe.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jay. I think that's such a beautiful way for us to conclude. I just need people to mute if you're talking, we can hear you. Thank you so much. I think I just want to end with that beautiful prayer. It's been a long night and an incredible night. And I think Jay's prayer is a wonderful way to conclude. And I just want to acknowledge, John Gray is still with us. John's still with us. Oh, is that
I'm here. I'm here.
All right. Oh, and
Scott, I have
Pato.
a tiny piece on the divine masculine I'd really love to share.
All right, Jan, very, very brief, Jan, because we're in such a good state.
I just want to acknowledge that following you for the last 35 years, Scott, and seeing the magic that you create around is just wonderful. And each of the people, all of you, all of us who are taking ourselves on in our shadows. And I just want to acknowledge the Mankind Project, which I'm a part of since November of '91 when I was initiated. I particularly want to, that's 65,000 men around the world and 1,000 integration groups. I've been in mine for 22 years every Monday night. And I just want to offer one tool to everyone that we use to establish safety in the circle before we start the work of our meeting. And it's a way of clearing the space with active listening. It can happen in like 45 to 75 seconds when you have the agreement. And it's simply to say your data and then hear it back. Say feelings, which are one word, and hear them back in the same tone and timbre and tempo. And then share the judgments we have of one another and ourselves, our shadow in that, what we want, and then a direct request. And I've been in over 1,000 meetings that are self-organizing because we establish the safety of the container by clearing our hearts to full love before we begin any other work. And thank you for letting me offer that, Scott, and for the decades we've played together.
Thank you, Jan. It's good to see you. And yes, blessings to all the organizations, Mankind Project, all the work that people are coming together. Again, all the different ways that we're meeting each other and connecting to raise our vibration and create this beautiful new world. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. If you're watching the video replay, thank you. Good night, and let's have a beautiful weekend. See you next.
Well done. Awesome.
I go to gallery view one last time. Good night, everybody.
Many thanks.